Wacky
Okay,
and
we are
wild.
live. Perfect. Wacky and Wild Dungeon it is.
Yep.
Welcome to episode 4 of Wicked Ones Online, where we are playing online.
Yep. It's very meta, and it's very cool and original concept.
Never been done before.
Never been
I
done
definitely
before.
wasn't watching an anime
Nope.
last night about...
Shangri-La Frontier?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
Oh. What is an isekai? Isekai?
I think it's kind of Dragon Ball Z technique. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Is that the thing that that Naruto does? Isekai? Is that...
Yep.
Yep. Although I do like the general concept of Shangri-La Frontier in that there's going to be so many shovelware VR games as soon as VR games become like a real thing, because that's like the first thing that happens. There's like 2 good games and then a million shovelware games.
Well, there has to be, because
and then a few more
economically
good
you
games.
can't make... You need a big budget, usually, to make a big, really high-quality game, which only happens once you already have a big player base. So it's... Like, unless you're Steam, which kind of just does its own thing and doesn't care about money because Valve has Steam.
Which
People
seems
are only
like
gonna
a
be able to
very
make games
successful
they can
game platform because there's still shovelware on Steam. Like
There's so much
avoiding
shovelware on
it.
Steam, but like Half-Life Alyx is specifically what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt that made back its money, but because Valve made it, they have enough money to spare.
Yep. But the premise is way more real than like the other ones where it's like, oh, finally a good game. It took forever.
It's really fun listening to the musical choices on this.
We're
would
only
be
6
such
episodes
an
in.
epic scene if it, was
I don't
any
think
other
that-
show and death mattered, but instead it's just 2 players having fun with each other. The music is campy, and
It's also the
beautiful.
first isekai I have watched where it's most of the interesting story appears to be actually player like drama that would happen in a real video game instead of like fantasy narrative where everyone is basically pretending it's not a video game. So, at least so far.
I only watched like 2 episodes of it.
Yeah. Perfect.
We're up to 7 or 9 at this point.
I don't think we're at 9, but 7 sounds about right to me. Maybe 8.
Gotta ask the question, since we're talking about serial things that people are watching. Anybody turn on Avatar?
Nope.
No,
I
not
have
yet.
watched
Not
through the
even-
entire thing in one day.
That was a mistake.
It was okay. It
Okay.
was...
It kept adding and subtracting to itself as you watch.
The first episode was the worst one by far, which sucks.
Mhm.
Which is
The second episode,
wild,
I think,
right?
was the best one by far. And then it became more mid. I liked the second episode the most. It wasn't perfect. But to me, it was better than all of the future ones. That, or maybe my own perspective of it was, this is so much better than episode 1, so I like it a lot. And then...
I
That's
was
an
partial to the
interesting-
Forest Spirit episode. That was decent. Like, that was probably the most
Everything I'd
decent
say was
one.
decent going forward. The acting
an-
was phenomenal. I didn't love Katara, though.
I disagree on the acting. Those lines are...
That's not the
horrible.
acting, that's the writing. I agree, the writing is awful. No, the writing
I
is
couldn't
terrible.
get over.
No,
I
the
saw-
acting should have overridden the writing, being like, can I
Really?
use a contraction
Have
here?
you
'Cause
seen
this sounds
Star
so
Wars
robotic."
Episode 3? They're all great actors. Didn't help.
I could not get over. I saw like a clip on TikTok of just grandma turning to the wall and reciting the
Episode
opening
1,
to the cartoon.
worst episode. That's the main reason that's the worst episode.
Ooh.
Sucks to say, but Gran brought the entire episode down by like at least 2 out of 10 points.
No, that entire thing just looked too soundstagey and unrealistic for a live action.
I got used to One Piece. I liked One Piece. One Piece did
I
lean
did
into
like
it.
the I did
but
like the One Piece
One
one.
Piece
It
is
was
a
very fun.
very different tone than Avatar. One thing I recently learned when doing some research as people were talking about why it looked a bit weird. Apparently, because so many people watch streaming shows on their phones, they're now filming streaming shows to be easy to watch on phones, and that means closer up shots, simpler
Who's watching
environments.
shows on their phone?
I don't know.
I'm like, why? Why?
Goddamn kids.
Analytics, I
Dang
think, are telling
Zoomers.
analytics are telling like the executives that like, yeah, no, more people are watching this on phones than not, so we got to make it look good on phones.
Like, I'll watch something
So-
on a laptop if I'm like
Blame Gen Z.
in a hotel
They're
or
literally
something.
ruining Avatar.
I don't affiliate with my generation, please. I'm like barely in it.
Yeah, no, you're one of the good ones.
I'm one of the good ones.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
I
Dang.
just use a TV.
I've
Um,
never been so close to genocide.
But yeah, no,
When the-
Avatar was, it's not something I would recommend to other people outright unless it's like already an Avatar fan who also isn't against changes, because there are some changes. I think many of them are good in terms of the structure. I think there's some downsides to them.
Didn't they take away the time crunch?
That's what
They
I heard.
have, which I think is a requirement in a show where it takes years to film and the characters will naturally age. They haven't
Yeah.
completely removed it. They have, at the end of the first season, they basically said the comet is coming soon, TM. They're just not saying you have literally less than a year to do this.
I don't know. I'm just way less interested now that it's not a cartoon. Like that's
Which
Well,
I
It
always had a
time-
bone to pick with Avatar with the time crunch, because no, you don't go that far that fast.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but I can forgive it in a cartoon.
Aang was also a literal savant, as presented in the show. He was
Sokka wasn't.
Sokka wasn't, and you're right. I liked Sokka. Sokka was maybe not the best part of the show, but I would say a solid, like positive, and was in season 1 better than the cartoon. Like season 1 Sokka here versus season 1 Sokka in the cartoon, and the live action one's better.
Any reimagining of Avatar is going to have some gigantic boots to fill. This, good or bad, did not fill those boots.
here
And
here is
therefore, I am not watching it.
Yeah.
here is the major bar it has to leap over. Well, not leap, more like step. Is it better than the movie we shall not name
Oh,
by
without a
the
doubt.
director?
With
Okay,
one
good.
exception, the wig. It's become a meme now that
The wig.
the wig of Princess Yue is awful.
Mhm.
Everything
okay.
else, better hands down. Even the writing.
Didn't they have like a
Which was
they
not
had
great.
They had millions of dollars in their
Oh,
budget, and they couldn't buy
Also,
a good
I'm not
wig?
sure what the animals. So I've never seen the movie, so I'm very much not an authority on if it's better. Than
I don't know
the
what movie you're talking about.
Perfect.
Hearing
The
some-
animal CGI in the Netflix show is
Really good.
abominable. Is it really good?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I thought it was. I thought
Okay.
Momo looked good. I thought Appa looked good.
I didn't enjoy looking at them. They felt weird to me.
Well, they're gonna.
That's true.
But I think based on converting that cartoonish shape to reality, they did the best they could.
Yeah. I also don't know who that show is for.
that
People that watched Avatar and grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why is it?
well,
But shouldn't they make a show for people that haven't watched Avatar?
that's exactly it. They're trying to expand Avatar to people who haven't seen it. That's part
Wouldn't a
of
new
the
Avatar
whole watch it on
property-
your
Vehicle for
phones
that.
thing. I
Wouldn't a
don't.
new Avatar
I think it was
property do
very
a better
mixed.
job?
Maybe. The thing is that remakes tend to have a reliable audience already, because both people who
So it
liked
sounds
the
like a
idea of the
budget
show but didn't like it.
reason.
Some people don't watch cartoons. No matter what it
Lame.
is, they can't get into any
Yeah.
animated show. So that's actually a large degree of people. There's a lot of people like that. So as soon as you make it live action, even if it is sometimes iffy, way bigger audience.
I don't get it.
I don't
I just
either.
like cartoons.
For me,
Shows are almost all cartoons.
I mean, my
so-
mom doesn't can't stand watching cartoons.
Oh,
even
mine
with
can't
ones she
either. I
likes.
think
but
that
I think for me the reason is all of her cartoons were 1950s Saturday morning cartoons, and there's that association with juvenility. I don't know. That because cartoons that were for actually all audiences or adults, that were 2D animated specifically, didn't exist for decades of our parents' age.
Closest you'd get was Disney movies, and even those were totally marketed towards kids.
Yeah.
They were just acceptable for a parent to watch.
The first
mean,
real
I've
ones
seen-
were Pixar movies that were actually
That's
for
a-
everyone, and
I mean,
that
that's
was
only
3D.
if you. I mean, I've seen a bunch of old Rankin and Boss animated movies. Those are not all for children.
That's fair.
They definitely existed, but you're right. They weren't nearly as mainstream. I don't know. My mom doesn't like cartoons either. That's why I watched A Knight's Tale a million times, and I own multiple copies of it.
That would have made a better cartoon.
I like it. It's real dumb. The rock and roll hairstyles with jousting. It's the perfect movie.
So,
Anyway,
You know what?
we
That
have
could
a
be an
dungeon.
anime.
speaking of
Yeah.
things that
Could be an
Aren't
anime.
for children.
could be an
Aren't for-
anime or aren't
Could
seem
be
like
an
it
anime
should...
that is not for children.
Wicked Ones. Let's figure
Yeah.
out compel. Can we as
Yeah.
players compel each other? So for people who, haven't read the rules of the game we're playing, because that's how a lot of people watch these, we are able, or at least I think we are able to compel each other's dark impulses.
No, you're supposed to only compel your own PC.
Wait, what?
Which
Wait, you can
doesn't make
compel your own
sense
PC?
to me.
Your dark
I just-
impulse is always
Please, guys.
beckoning you towards action. To represent this, whenever there is an interesting opportunity for it to take hold of your PC, the GM can compel you to act on it. They suggest a course of action which plays into your dark impulse, and you have to either follow through on it and gain a dark heart, or suppress it, take a stress, and describe how. And yeah, you can compel your own PC. The reason I'm bringing this up is with our group's playstyle, do we want to just allow us to compel each other?
I don't
Or at least put forth suggestions for GM approval.
know. My hang up is
It does say you can suggest compels to the GM for other PCs
It does.
as well.
And there is a special ability, Dark Mind Under Shadow, that is actually compelling. So we would basically make that ability useless, but none of us are shadows.
Right.
Is
I
this
don't
a
quite-
carrot and stick though? Is my question, because if you
it's a carrot
have too
and
many,
stick.
It is-
.org.
well, it's double stick if you already have two dark carts, right? Because that's automatically.
I still
If
think you have to
we're on a
roll, so
mission-
you could spend a dark heart on your roll. That
Yeah.
gives you a
That's fair.
dark heart.
I think a dark
Okay.
heart while we're out on a mission is basically just a good thing because we have a lot to spend of them, and that's when we'll be spending them for the most part.
I mean, but the other hang up is you don't seem want to do horrible, evil things. Like, I don't need to suggest more evil for you to do. You already cut the hands off a wizard and shoved him in your dungeon.
Mhm.
Like, I don't need to hang, like, ooh, look at these evil things you could do out in front of you. Like, that's where I'm stuck. It's like, I don't know. What can I even compel you to do? Just point
I think-
out stuff?
One of the things that makes a compel interesting to me is going feral. So you stress out, you have no stress for the rest of the session. It says that you remain in a feral state until your next recovery, so if you go feral early on in the campaign, you have to act on that once, that dark impulse once. But after that, it seems that the only stick for going feral early is if you're compelled, you must accept it. So we tend to jump straight in, you're right, into the worst options we could possibly do for
Yeah.
compelled. I think it is interesting to be pushed into things that are actively even worse for us as players, almost more so than characters. We're good at doing monstrous things. We're not so much good at doing things that are not beneficial to us as a character.
And that's one of the things it says here. It says, while it often makes sense to weave your impulses into your role-playing, you only earn dark hearts for this, which I assume is talking about when you are compelled, when it puts the current goals of that scene or your dungeon at risk. So the compel is do something actively detrimental for your dark impulse.
All right. Well, I will give a thought to that and try to incorporate some, I don't know, intrusive thoughts like
Yeah,
I think
Don't
feral-
build
feral.
traps, build a library.
Yeah, I'd say it's less
That's-
evil and more like almost feral, or like feral instincts. I would.
Well, it's
kind of view
selfishness.
this.
It's
Yeah.
hyper selfishness to the point of like self destruction, where it's like, no, I don't want to cook. I just want to eat.
Yeah, I will eat man flesh raw.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
why-
those kind of thoughts. Like, no,
Yeah.
you're not gonna barbecue.
Even though
you're
my
just going
my
to eat 'em.
civilized kobolds will lose their morale from me doing so because it's gross or something like that.
You can also be compelled for revelry.
Yeah, so you can. I'm looking at the example here. One of the examples of the PC compelling themselves is, I'm way too impatient for this. Can I have a dark heart if I push past the guard and enter the chief's hut? So it's. I'm gonna do something dumb. Please give me a dark heart for doing so. Is sort of asking the GM for permission and a reward for doing something stupid that you probably are gonna do anyways. To be fair.
That's the part that sticks with me. Is it doesn't feel like I'm not gonna do it anyway. I guess that's just the kind of like player I am in these games, where it's I will do a dumb thing because I think it's interesting, regardless if it benefits me or the story.
Yeah.
Just because I want to. That seems like the most interesting thing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why it's giving you the option to compel yourself, because it's saying, if you want to do the interesting dumb thing, you should make sure you get rewarded for that. And if you don't want to do the interesting dumb thing, you can be pushed into that and also still get that reward. But I agree, it's a bit finicky. Do we want to open up player-to-player compels yet, or do we want to not?
No, they're still gonna need. No one has the shadow thing, but I do like the idea that you can metagame bully people into taking actions.
Okay, perfect.
And I like that as a power option, and I don't want to remove that power because that's a very silly one to like cross-class into. To like, I'm a metagame bully. Like, I'm just gonna text you on your phone and be like, do it.
Most passive-aggressive roommate ever.
Do it, no balls.
All right, so we can suggest compels, but we won't offer them directly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
Okay. We should do a
We have a
recap.
dungeon.
What happened last
Oh, yeah.
session? We torched
fair-
an entire village and massacred everyone except for like a couple intentionally left survivors.
Poisoned their
That-
wells, salted the earth, blew up most of their houses.
Yeah.
How
not
dare
assault.
they
You did
knock on
not
our
salt
door
the
and find
earth.
out who's home?
I do believe it was specifically mentioned we don't have enough salt for that. So
No.
instead, you poisoned the wells with the corpses of the townsfolk.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
30 or 50 corpses.
That's a lot of corpses. Mostly they died in the fires, to be fair.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we have at least one household who didn't.
yes, no,
At
there was a
least
couple
one.
families that someone took care of personally.
Yeah. I could help you fight adventurers, speaking of compels. Or I could kill more humans helplessly.
Yeah,
in their
that's one where
beds.
you get the dark heart.
Yeah.
It's like, wanted murder or the plan?
So, admittedly, the plan was...
The plan was kill everyone. No, that was...
So,
I think-
it worked out
so-
surprisingly well, given that you kept rolling
Not
sixes.
the plan
and
was to
crits.
Yeah.
loot.
I think if we were having trouble with the adventurer and or Marissa
Some
was having
trouble came
trouble murdering people,
Yeah, no,
then
the
it would
rolls
have been
were
a dark heart thing.
completely ridiculous.
Yeah, there was like more than one crit.
Yeah.
a
So
crit, a 6, and then another... Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
we destroyed a village,
Um,
and then we built up our dungeon some more.
yeah.
Added a few rooms.
Made another room for
Yeah.
the witches to echo in.
The
Yeah,
the
an
green
echoey
kobold
hallway
breathed
with a
too close to the
cauldron.
sun.
Yep.
Right, so we
you
got-
let the
we have a
imps
new
get bored.
character now. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have Doug Null, which will never
Doug
be
Null the
mispronounced.
Nope.
Just call him Doug.
Perfect. Well, you aren't a dark dwarf. You have a posse of
No,
dark dwarves.
I have a posse of dark dwarves. I'm a hobgoblin.
Yep.
I'm a normal sized goblin noid. So I'm the tallest person.
Yeah, you're a medium. Yeah, it's.
I would
Hobgoblin, and
say
this
you're
is
tall,
just-
while blank is at their normal posture, which is very like hunchbacked.
Yeah. If Blank is like tall and lanky, I think Doug
You
is
don't
like
know if Blake's
beefy.
tall. We have not
Yeah.
seen
We
stretched
have not
out
seen
Blank.
the
We've only seen
Slenderman
the
that
hovel.
Blank becomes.
We've only seen the hovel in a coat. Like that's
That's
it.
true.
Yep. We also discovered we have a bit of an infestation inside our vehicle bay that we are trying to finish. There's a carnivorous moss that has shown up there. So we have decided to sort of leave it for now, and we'll probably try to do something with it
We'll
later.
tame
'cause
it
it's
later.
very useful if we can just harvest and cultivate a carnivorous moss. Seems like a good idea.
Sounds like downtime projects
It
for
does,
that.
but we're not doing downtime now.
No, we are doing attack time. There's a raid.
Yep. We decided we need some vehicle parts to finish our vehicle bay and finish our airship.
Yeah, and where else to get them but the same industry industriousness, the possessed corpses of dwarves.
Yep. we went to another Dwemer rune and decided that's what we're gonna loot. They tend to have all of the parts we tend to need.
Yep.
Yeah,
You always
and
need Dwemer cogs.
Always.
Your genius plan to attack them was to use chains to tunnel into a mountain because they don't have doors on the walls. So you did that, and then we hear the click clack of dice rolling, and it turns out they're not as much of pushovers as you thought they would be. They are, in fact,
We got a 4.
I got a 4. Yeah.
They didn't know we were coming, but they seemed ready for us.
Well, you punch through the wall, and they're not quite ready for you, but you do find a big echoey hallway that you recently built one of yourself. This is like not the same hallway, but the same concept of a big room. And as you look around, there is egg-sized rocks just neatly organized.
Like smooth
And
and carved or something like that?
Oh, they're not smooth. They're very lumpy.
But what do you mean by egg-sized? Are they like eggs or
egg
like
size or
alien
egg
eggs?
shaped?
Like egg-shaped, watermelon-sized
Okay.
rock clumps that are placed in a grid pattern throughout this pretty large room.
Okay, so this is like alien.
This is a
No,
rock
the
hatchery.
rocks. They are very much not flesh or shell. They're
They're
clearly
rock
rocks.
alien.
Yes. And they glow slightly. What's a fun color? What color is the magic in this place?
Purple.
Purple.
Purple
Yes,
it
there's a slight purple glow coming from between the.
What if it's just like
the
a
rock
rave?
clumps?
Like it's just like
just in the background.
RGB eggs.
RGB eggs.
Yeah, no, they glow purple. They're a little lumpy. They're made of a rock that is, a little bit more warm toned than the rock that the rest of the place is made out of. So a little bit like it's almost like it's been mixed with clay, but not really because it's still rock.
Mhm.
Does anyone else have a thing they want to?
Before we walk in the room, I'm going to scan the room to see if I notice anything about these rocks.
What?
What does that look like? You're scanning the room.
I think we've probably already described everything we can see from just standing there looking.
Yeah, that's all that's in this room. It's a single purpose room. It's for grid rock clump storage.
Yeah, I'd like to investigate around, see if, because they're egg shaped, that would lead me to believe that, and glowing, that would lead me to believe that something possibly resides in them.
What's
so I'm
your
gonna look
dark
around.
impulse? I might suggest a compel right now.
Cruel.
Perfect. My
that's really easy.
idea
Kick it over.
is to use your chains to break one open. Because
that was where I was going to go immediately after this. Yes.
Yeah, but that's how you scan. You find out what they are by breaking one open. If it's an egg, you kill what's inside.
That means I can use invoke. Why not?
Go bowling.
Yeah, so I'll just whip the chains around the room and break one. See what happens. It's a 6.
Yeah, so you just shatter one, and it falls apart into still kind of a darkish room, but rock pieces. Um, but as you break one, and then there's you succeed in breaking it. You don't know what it is still yet, though, but you're about to find out as the chunks fly and they hit a couple other rock clumps, and they begin to unfold, not unlike a Byakugan, into a little stone rabbit.
They're fucking battle brawlers. Sweet.
Yeah. So very slowly, the grid room is awakening to a
Bunch of
veritable
little
swarm of
bowling
rocky
ball golem
lagomorphs.
things.
They're rabbits. There's a bunch of stone rabbits, and they are beginning to panic as someone is smashing them.
There is some frantic pointing as I'm trying to get the two people who are supposed to be leaving to leave.
Yeah, I think Nash is just rushing past them as they unfold to the next door. I think Varn, I'm gonna actually suggest a compel now because I think the last one was a bit iffy. You
Weren't you doing
are
something?
supposed to come with me and help me loot, but you're cruel. And killing bunnies that are running away sounds very cruel.
And I shall do so in the most fantastic way possible, if it has a dark heart attached to it.
Yeah, wanton rabbit murder
Sweet.
is fair.
All right,
You
so
don't know what these magic we're doing the position and effect.
Yeah.
We don't still have zero information other than rock rabbits. So yeah, it's some risk. And they're a swarm, and you just and it seems like light results to try to attack a swarm, right? Unless you have some
Okay.
AoE options.
Well, as the particular spell I shall incant upon my chains will transform it into the chains transform into a spiky-haired silhouette of a small hedgehog, and then begin spinning, and it's going to bounce around the room on all of these rabbits.
That does feel like default results. Yes.
Pulverizing chains, therefore effect goes up.
So you're now at strong results.
Dugnall and his group of dark dwarves will dive for cover.
Yeah. And as I said,
I'm assuming
Nash
in a
is
very
ducking to leave the room.
I'm assuming in a very coordinated fashion. So you do it in front of them, and the rest of them are behind you, repeating the exact same motion.
Mhm.
I think that Blank is looking at the person who is supposed to be running and is obviously not running. Nash, who is booking it across the room, and I'm going to take off after Nash.
Cool.
And as I release my spell, you just hear as
Oh
And
my
you
god!
a crit, so double sixes, of course.
Why can't a raid ever let me do anything against you? Yeah, no, you begin
Dismantling them.
Your spike chain hedgehog begins just rolling around collecting all of the rabbits.
For some reason, when it hits the rabbits, gold coins spray out of them.
No,
Yeah,
they're just
gold
stuck with the
rings.
hedgehog.
little rings.
They're just stuck onto him.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you're just rolling it around the room. I do think to avoid the uncollected rabbits so far, like while the chain hedgehog is clearing, and the rabbits that are panic running out of the room, I need a finesse roll or something, just in hopes that someone gets less than 6.
Can I pick up Nash and throw them?
That's not a me question.
Okay, I pick up
Towards
Nash
the
and
door?
throw them. Yeah. You're not going fast enough. As I run, I catch up to you. I
That's fair. You're like 3
So-
times my size.
a hand around and just overarm pitch you at the door.
I think I complain and like out of shock, like, wait, what are you doing? But I don't think I physically meaningfully resist.
Cool. Yeah. Do
I
that.
think this is probably Smash.
That's powerfully.
Yeah. I was hoping it would be
Um,
like finesse precisely, but I guess you're just throwing me through the door or something.
You're just bowling balling them.
All right. There's gonna be some risk because you don't. That door looks sturdier than Flash. But expected results. Throw her through the door. She's through the door.
You know what? I'm gonna help with this. I think in the
Good.
once I'm like, once I'm already partway thrown and in the air, I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this, and then I like try to like arms forward, like let's try to mid-air football charge through this.
So,
I'm gonna
so
make
you
this a
gain
group roll.
effect.
Oh, I'm making
Oh,
this
you-
a group roll. I want to get smashed.
Oh.
Okay, so one in group roll. All right, let's give this a shot.
Perfect. I have 0 dice, by the way. I'm just doing this to learn. Oh, good.
Sorry, you're
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's
so
perfect.
you-
I gained 1 tick in learning Smash, so I'm happy with this.
I think you gain a stress too.
I
'cause
do.
It's
That's
technically
totally
a mix,
worth it.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
you use Nash as a projectile to break through the back door, and then you follow through and knock her through the door as you
Yeah.
run.
Yep. Perfect. So we both get up and start like running down the hallway, trying to get to a place away from the rabbit streaming out.
Yeah. So
Um,
you go into the next room. While the murder's happening, is Dougie doing anything? Dougie and the boys?
Doug and the Dark Dwarves.
Doug and the dudes. Doug and the dudes are going to just, see the carnage that
Gonna witness?
Varn is unleashing.
Bear witness to
Yeah,
the murder of these.
We bear witness, and then we're gonna scan and make sure no like automatons or
You found the
zombie
automatons.
dwarves.
They're the rabbits.
Oh, I'm gonna just make sure Varn gets his fill while is protected. So I'm just gonna scan and make sure nothing's coming up. Because my job is
Witness me.
All right. Light risk because you're standing back against the wall to avoid the spike hedgehog.
Yeah.
And default effects. Your eyes usually work.
I have torches. Could I use torches to make it lighter?
You're gonna light some of your guys on fire to
I'm not lighting my dwarves on fire. I just have torches. I can throw them in.
I mean, lighting your dwarves on fire sounds like a fun and dark heart related thing.
But what is your vice? I thought your vice was drinking.
My revelry is drinking. My dark impulse is reckless.
So yeah, combining those two, beware of any liquid you find. But
it's true. I'm gonna scan.
What are you scanning for? You're just like looking at the room?
Yeah, I'm
make sure
trying
you're
to
not-
make sure we're not gonna get like flanked or snuck up on. I will submit.
Look, your part of the plan was to draw all of the attention. You want
Hmm.
it.
You got a 5.
Yeah, that's mixed results. So you do notice something, and the mix is that you're gonna have to tell Varn about this. The rabbits have. You notice as you're looking through the room in the corner, like on the walls, like not the walls with the doors, but there's only one door, but you made a new one. So,
Right.
but on the other 2 walls, you do notice that there is a very uniformly carved at like the bottom corner where the wall and floor meet series of like rabbit warren holes.
Oh,
There is further repositories of magic rabbit rock golems
okay.
that are connected to this room, and you do see, one little rabbit who is panting even though it doesn't have lungs.
Magical panting.
Yeah, magic panting. He has like a shattered back leg, and he's like crawling. Look back at the carnage and begin to slip into the Baron.
I would like to throw one of my dark dwarves at that escaping rabbit.
Alright, they're ammo.
Listen, they are companion and they're equipped, so they are armored. So they're just dressed up in like football gear.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
the Blood Bowl.
chop this
I
guy.
believe the Blood Bowl Dark Dwarves have things for throwing themselves. So
Yeah, that's not the first football character we've seen in this dungeon, because the imps are also a football team.
That's true. That's how they entertain themselves. Yeah, so I'm gonna smash one of my dwarves into this retreating rabbit, and I'll let Varn know they're escaping. We don't want anyone alive. Just like what? Just throw it a dwarf. So I assume smash.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
I'll spend
throw a character skill we've determined.
Yep, I will spend a dark heart I got when I made my dumb vile friend. All right. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for the
Six,
dark heart.
barely.
Yeah, so you see the rabbit like begin to crawl for freedom, and then helmet first, a dwarf just blows it up. And
He goes,
sticks his-
San Diego's high school football rules.
Yeah, and then I think he just starts yelling into the hole, like, "Come out, you little cowards!"
Yeah.
All right. Well, the other two, you've come to a different room. This room is slightly better lit. It doesn't seem to be a storage facility. You do see that there's like writhing earthen pits that have the same purplish glow that the rabbits had. And you do see baskets and nets and rabbit molds. Like they're bronze molds
Oh, I
of
see.
rabbits, and you think the two are connected.
Do we have any idea what gear it is that we're looking for, or
We'll probably know when
Is
we
there
see
a
it. We
spot
haven't
that we
specified it,
built
but like
by-
airship parts, none of which appear to be here.
I didn't specifically put airship parts in this dungeon, but just for everyone's peace of mind, with the intention of you going for vehicle parts, there will be acceptable. You can decide what you make of them later. This
Yeah.
dungeon, because you did scout it ahead of time, you would know there's parts you could use for vehicles in here.
In this
Yeah.
room, you mean here, or in the dungeon?
Oh, in the dungeon.
I don't see any off the top of my head in this room, so I think Nash is gonna look for a way past these. You said there are like some churning earthen pits in the middle.
So there's clear delineation between the rock that is the floor and
Hmm.
these churning massive pebbles and glowing purple. And then there's like stations set up in between the pits with like tables and scoops and bronze rabbit molds.
I think, yeah, she's gonna avoid the middle and just try to go like around the room to the next door. If it looks potentially unsafe in the middle, she'll go around the outside.
Ooh,
But
This is my point of saying this is a workroom.
Yeah.
So you've not seen any
Inhabitants.
husks, industrious husks yet.
Okay.
But this is like a workroom, and they like those.
That's true.
I have a suggestion for a compel for your revelry.
That's true.
Oh, it's knowledge. Yeah, no.
Normally,
Yeah.
yeah. If we're willing to do revelry compels, which I totally am.
It says in here that you can.
Those are both. I thought
Those are
this was-
for usually to get you to take good loot, though.
Just to get you to take good loot.
Yeah, that's not a dark heartable thing.
Oh yeah, on the next
Oh.
page, your choice of revelry can also be compelled just as an impulse can. These types of
Either
compels work
way,
well when coupled with opportunities for good loot. So this could be, for example, yeah, I stop going for our airship parts and start examining this place. Could be a compel.
Yeah, because they're
here.
bronzed rabbit molds here.
I'm going to compel myself to stop with the mission and be distracted enough. I'm going to, like... Wait, can I just compel myself, or can I offer a compel to myself?
I think you just come.
It's
Offer
the
control and then
example...
the
So the text says you can compel yourself, but the example says ask the GM. So I think I will ask Indigo if I stop the mission, stop, like, going for what we need for this raid and start, like trying to tinker with the workshop to figure out how these rabbit golems are made, will I gain a dark heart?
Yeah, no, that's why I put the rabbit golem creation room here. To
Perfect.
you.
Okay, I'll take the dark heart. I'm gonna be
Um,
like, I'm starting to run past it, and then I just stop partway through, and I says, "No, that doesn't make any sense. Hang on, wait, how do they?" And then I just, like, walk back, like, very purposefully, and start looking over the molds and the tools and being like, I don't understand, and start muttering to myself over how the heck they made this, trying to figure it out.
assuming that what you are doing is what you are supposed to be doing, may I join you in trying to figure out what these things are supposed to be for?
Oh, sure. You're just assuming that this is what we're here for, even though it's not.
Exactly. I'm actively kind of joining you in on let's waste time, though in my side it's not as intense.
Sure.
You're just like, oh, he's smart, or she's smart. She knows what we need.
Yeah.
The entire point was we are looking for tools to make things. These are tools. Maybe these are the tools to make things. You're fiddling with them. Let's see. Okay, I will fiddle with them too and see if that works. No?
Okay. Yeah, that works.
I mean, my part of the mission was supposed to be make noise and stay back at the beginning. I have no idea what's happening in this part of the
Yeah, everything's already gone awry. Nash
That's
is
what
going to
the
start
engagement rolls for.
literally
Send it all
tinker. Yeah. Nash is going to start literally tinkering with all of the tools to try and figure out how it works. And figure out... She's not directly interested in loot so much. But
Don't you have golems?
I do have golems. But I don't have rabbit golems. It's very different. And I think my golems are made of metal, I think. Theirs are made of stone. So, I think I'm trying to figure out how their, like, versions of golems work.
Yeah, it sounds like a scan.
It could be scan. I think I'm trying to tinker with it, though, since there are, like, I am physically...
Are you trying to make a rabbit golem in the middle of this dungeon?
Yeah, tinkering is making one.
Yes. If I might start the process of making one to, like, figure out how it's done by doing it.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Give me the roll. This feels some risk because someone could walk in at any moment.
Yep.
And honestly, we're gonna say light results for this unknown process.
I literally am doing it without any instructions. Yeah.
Yeah. All you're doing is following the well-trodden footsteps in the ground from the husks.
All right. With that in mind, Blank, are you assisting me or group rolling in, or what do you think you're doing?
I'm hoping to group roll because I don't get many opportunities to tinker. So I think that I'm at the next table over watching what your hands are doing.
Oh, so it's even... So it's even farther away from the correct methodology because...
Like, you're just on the next table over doing your own rabbit as well next to mine and, like, looking at my instructions and follow... And
I'm assuming... We'll see how the roll goes, but I'm assuming it's going to look like kindergartner trying to match somebody else's art piece, and,
Perfect. We'll see how it goes. I got a 6.
You got a 6. Awesome.
Weak result. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, so takes a little bit of time, but you grab the, like, big wooden spoon and begin scooping out the churning, glowing ooze of earth, and dumping it into the receptacle on top of the molds. And it takes you a while to figure it out, but there's like a hand pump, like a pneumatic hand pump powered compression system that you gotta like jump up and down for because you're not quite tall enough or strong enough to operate.
Yep.
And then it gets to a certain point and you hear a very large click and runes begin to glow on the molds.
I
And
think
it
the
like
hand pump system is the place where Blank gets stuck. He was following along behind, and then he saw you like jumping up and down to do things. So he's like, "Okay, I'll go over to the hand pump system and like stretch and jump up or up and down and up and down." And he's like, "Oh, this is fun." And then he doesn't move on to any of them.
Yep.
Yeah, and then eventually the runes go, it shakes, and then cracks open, and out comes like a rabbit golem. It looks around, it hears the cries of its friends and brethren, and then panics and runs away.
Yeah, Nash isn't actually concerned with the golem itself. She just wanted to know how it was done. So she's like, interesting. And she looks at Blank and finally, like, breaking out of her trance of discovery, sees what Blank was doing, and then stares at Blank for a while and says, "Are you mocking me?"
Blank stops pulling on the lever and looks over and suddenly seems to kind of realize, wait, this isn't what we were supposed to be doing, and like gestures at the stuff and says, or gestures at the components and oh, I don't think I can get that part with a gesture.
You can just say what the gesture says.
You start like signing at Nash.
Like this wasn't the vehicle bay parts, and
you look surprised and exasperated.
Yes.
Perfect. Nash marches over to your paper mache rabbit golem, which is what she sees it as, even if it's probably not actual paper mache.
It wasn't
I think
filled
that
up
there's
enough.
like bits of metal or whatnot just hammered into other bits.
Perfect.
For no good
She grabs it and throws it into the furnace to melt. And says, "Much better." And walks on.
I pick up a table and swing it at you like a baseball bat.
Okay, we're doing this.
You just do it, right?
Open PvP. I'd say this is probably just roll to smash. This is what it sounds like.
Ideally, I'd like to knock you into the same pit you just put my beautifully crafted rabbit!
Are you trying to knock me into a furnace?
It's not a furnace, it's a writhing pit of earth and magic.
Yeah! Come on, it's fine. Also, if you aren't fine, I don't care. You just destroyed my rabbit. I put effort into that.
Go ahead. I was intending to just do one thing and then walk away.
Yeah,
but this is where you have two different vengeful characters pitched against each other. This is gonna be a blood feud. That's what this is gonna be.
Alright, if it's smash it is. Is this the place where I want to use a dark heart?
Stop throwing other characters!
It's fun! Yes, I do want to use my dark heart here. Ha!
That's a 6.
Yes. So yes, you're in the earthen pit. I don't know. What's
I think
the body
I like the idea of
damage?
having knocked you off into the earthen pit, and I'll just go over to the edge of it and just stand there gloating before I get to walk off like you were trying to.
Perfect. I take my last fire oil. Oh no, my fire oil catches fire. It's not a Molotov. It's just oil. Okay. It's not.
You can still throw it.
I can still throw it. It
Don't worry, we
won't
now
do
have a
much.
person who doesn't know what they're looking for so much that they thought that making the rabbit was the point of the dungeon, being the only person capable of finding the part.
While you're walking away, I take aim with my crossbow at probably your feet. I'm not aiming to kill you, especially because I'm maxed in Dark Hearts right now. but I'm probably going to aim at like one of your feet with my crossbow to try and at least injure you. And I fire.
I mean, I'm assuming I'm not allowed to do other rolls to, mitigate this, so go
I
ahead
didn't.
and I'll see if stress is used.
Okay. I am spending a dark heart.
You can
Necessary
resist
dark.
it when it's done.
I mean, I guess if you're in the pit, well, no, it's whatever results are in the pit.
I
is
assume
that
in the
permanent?
pit, I'm not like. It's not like a quicksand thing where I have to struggle to stay afloat, I assume.
Yeah, no, it's rock.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
So once you hit me in there, I climb out after you if I can do that.
Can
And
you? How deep is this thing?
I don't depends on
You don't like sink into rock. It's just like you're.
Yeah.
How deep is the pit?
I have no idea. No one knows. It's a pit in a dark room in a mountain. Like it.
It's bottomless.
I guess the question is, can you see me out of the pit? I'm not trying to take away your crossbow shot.
Oh, the
I'm just
pit's
curious.
full. Like it's the pit's
Okay.
full of the churning rock that the rabbits are made of.
Yeah. So I'm on top like
So are you in the middle of like a cement grinder?
it's not
Basically. But it's not like that fast. It's just
Yeah.
wiggly.
So I climb out. I'm probably covered in dirt and
Yeah,
dust.
you're covered in gross, glowy mud. If you're playing for damage, you took one of them from getting hit with a table.
I would
kind of
say it
like
was
the
either
idea
getting
that you're
pushed in or the
spending-
damage. I'm not sure.
I kind of like the idea that you're spending time not actually fully climbing out of the cement pit, instead to sight or whatever.
Yeah, I like
and
climb out
it'll be
until I
harder
can
to get out.
until my like head peeks up so I'm fully level with the floor, and I'm like, there it is. Bring out my crossbow. It's like I'm basically prone on the ground with the rest of my body still in the pit.
It's more like you're at the edge of a pool with a crossbow.
Exactly. And then I just like aim with your feet that are level then and fire. I'm spending a dark heart. So I have 2 dice. And I crit with my 2 dice, both 6s.
You're so effective at this.
Yes. Well,
Varn, how do you think they're doing?
yes, back in the rabbit slaughter room. Most of the rabbits are dead. I don't know. You don't know who you're supposed to distract from here. You're kind of at the back of you're at the back of a room.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
I have a drinking horn. Can
Mm.
I temporarily modify my drinking horn to be a horn I could blow into to make noise to cause people to come to us?
Oh, you summon
Temporarily
more
would require
rabbits?
cutting off the bottom of it. It's not going to hold much after that.
I
mean,
know.
you have supply. You have 2 uses of grab whatever kind of gear you definitely had on you before.
Okay,
And
then
so,
Yeah, you could supply them, not a magic megaphone, but the cone that old-timey cheerleaders used.
yeah, I want that. I say, hey, ho, ho, you dark dwarves, go get them, yo.
You trying to
So-
inspire your dark
That's
dwarves
pitiful.
to...
I'm just trying to like cause a lot of commotion so things come to us. We'll say,
Okay, you want
basically,
stuff? I have
what you're
stuff.
doing is seeing if they find us first or you find us first.
yeah, because this is distraction zone, right? We're supposed to be
Distraction
distracting.
zone to let us do things, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we're devolving into a fist fight.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know
are
that.
devolving into a fist fight in the rabbit creation room. But yeah, no. What's a good skill? Is that clever?
I would like to
Sure.
threaten them.
You'll threaten. All right, you're threatening the
Yes.
dungeon to come at me.
Yeah, come at me, bro.
All right, cool.
Seems right.
Perfect.
I would like to help by using my chains to make a ripping chainsaw sound to back up the threat.
Good. Nice.
All
That
right, so that
adds
just
to your effect.
okay. So what position and effect am I at?
You're at some risk because you are
Mhm.
asking for trouble. And I think you're at strong effect with the chainsaw sound.
Cool. All right. 3, 2, 1. A
All right.
6.
All right. Well, trouble finds you.
Yeah.
So, burrowing through the ceiling, more rabbits fall down. But these rabbits seem prepared, and they begin to Zord assemble into a giant rock rabbit scorpion.
Rock rabbit scorpion.
Like they Zord assemble into a scorpion.
Got it. Okay. Okay. I see it in my
But
mind's
it's
eye.
still
Okay.
clearly made of rabbits.
Right.
Like the stinger at the top
This-
is just 2 stone rabbit ears that makes up the stinger.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it begins like clamping.
Yeah. Just as that happens, I just slowly draw the sword and I look at Varn and I go, I'm really glad you're here instead of Blank. I don't think Blake's up to this.
Yeah, arrows are terribly useful against stone.
Mhm.
And then while you're doing this, totally unrelated to your threaten, you do see some like husk dwarves come in and like begin walking over to one of the appointed grid spaces for a rabbit and reach down and get nothing. And then pick it up and
Oh,
pick
they
up
like
the
still go
nothing.
through the motion.
Yeah, they're on autopilot. That's the whole that's the whole thing.
I'd like to imagine they're like right by where my dwarves are, and they go, huh! And then they just pick up the nothing and then walk away. And they go,
All right, so stone scorpion, eh?
Yeah, and it's bearing down on you, because you asked for it.
We're the distraction team. That's
Yeah.
what our job was.
You're a distraction team, and we're getting distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, that's where you got confused, right? You thought you were still distraction team.
Yeah. There's a new bad guy afoot. This one has a clock because it's not just like an infinite swarm of rabbits.
All right, what's hold on. What are we on the sandbox?
I think we're
We're all
We
GMs,
should-
but
yeah. I'm on the map because I don't know where else to.
Yeah.
Are
are
that
we
does
switching to the
matter.
map? I've just been going theater of the mind so far.
Oh, wait,
I mean,
are we
it's
on?
not like a real map. I'm just on the map page to throw clocks down.
Okay, so you're on the sandbox map page, the map of the island.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, because
Okay.
we have 3 map pages.
Yeah, the dungeon
Yes.
map, the
The sandbox, and then the copy of the dungeon.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let me switch this to.
Possibly, we should make a theater of the mind page with just.
Yeah, we should have like a dice
like a
roll
blank.
page.
Yeah,
But that would be a thing I should have thought about ahead of time.
we could call it the clock map, so then we're still on the map.
The clock
Just like
tower.
a blank map that like
It's a
with
blank
any
map for
text on it,
clocks.
so I can
Yeah.
put the clocks on it.
That's totally a normal thing, I think.
Probably the best thing to do. Well, we'll figure that out. Anyway, you have a 6-point clock on the big monster.
Cool. Is this 4 yellow clock something or?
Vehicle parts, I guess.
That
Okay,
makes
I just
sense.
didn't know if that was left over from.
I
last
knew there
time.
would be. I left it there for looting.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But because you're specifically looting vehicle parts, that's not going to count towards your like loot die.
Right.
Yeah, it's
So
just
it's a collection spot for your vehicle looting.
It's when this is full, we can leave
Yeah. If it ever fills.
if it ever fills. Listen, Varn and I don't know that.
Yeah. I have some
Yeah.
ideas for what the result of my group
I'm-
will be.
Mentally
So-
trying to get ideas too.
Oh, I think I know.
No good reason to waste crit.
Drunk Doug summoned the scorpion. What is Varn the Chain Lasher doing about it? And or the Dark Dwarves? I guess they get their own actions.
I think they're gonna smash, but I'll wait for Varn to soften it up.
Okay, well, if I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to like tie it up, like use the chains to wrap around the tail and the 2 claws and hold it down. Sounds like a team action that should be a tier 2 spell.
Yeah. You could do it by yourself with magic, or all 5 of the football dwarves could jump on it. Like,
Mhm.
No, that
That's a
seems good to
teamwork.
me.
It's a teamwork action. That makes sense.
No,
You're-
judging by tier of spell, like
Yeah, no, I was
tier 1 spell
agreeing.
is a single action. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
All right, so that's 1 stress to cast that, minus 1d. You know what? I'm just going to overload on this because I am drunk with power.
Yeah, you've slaughtered many a rabbit.
Yes.
What is a bunch of them stuck together gonna do to me?
You're saying rabbit blood for the rabbit blood god.
All right, so I cannot resist consequences, but on a crit, I clear stress. And it's 3 go. That's a 6.
You got a 6.
It's been nothing but 6s.
Yep.
Yo,
The chains, I guess, weld together as they collapse around this Zord scorpion. Because the obvious consequence is you wrap it and it like melts around the chains, right? But no, I guess you weave too fine of a net, and you do securely hold down Scorpion. He's struggling against you.
Does that add to the
3
clock at all?
I think
Yeah,
it's halfway. Is it 2 or 3 on a 6?
I thought it was 2.
It might be. I don't remember.
Oh, I
A
think it
fail
depends on
is
your position.
1, a success is 2, or a middle is 2, a success is... Wait a minute.
I think a success is still 2, but it's +1 if you're in a good position. If you have good effect.
I thought a
What
mixed was 1, a success
Yeah.
was 2, a crit was 3.
That's what I thought too.
Progress clocks.
I also thought crit was 3.
Success result
Crit
on a
is 3
roll
plus,
is 2.
yes.
Sorry. Yeah, you
A
get
crit
2.
is...
Yep, 2 ticks on the clock.
Oh, that's where I went wrong. Failure is 0.
Yeah.
Got it.
For some reason, I thought fail was still 1, but I think that's something else.
I think that's
There we go.
Blade of
Does-
the Dark in the dark.
Does
Blaze of the Dark does it
overloading
anyway.
the spell give you a strong effect?
It just gives me +1 die, and if I crit, I clear a...
So it gives you +1
Stress.
die. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's held down.
I think.
Oh,
do you
my
wanna cut back
chains
to
would have
us,
given
or-
me +1, or increased effect, because they're pulverizing. They're good against
I
it.
knew you had some
That's true.
plus,
Okay.
and I didn't want to put. So you
So
were
we
at
should-
3. So yeah,
We'll
it's
up
Okay.
to 3 ticks. then.
very well held down. Are you done fighting yet? Or are the two of you still fighting?
We could cut back to them because I'm still
Yeah.
gonna fight it.
Perfect. So my idea for the result of my crit crossbow against Blank is that Blank takes muscle shock from being pierced with a crossbow, and as a crit effect, Blank is left in place until Nash has moved on and like passed and left him behind.
If the crit effect is not the shock, then you also are supposed to have shock. I was just not
Okay, perfect.
super paying attention to it for the PvP fight, but if you want something in addition to like actually damaging the other PC, then it's only fair that you get Blank also 6'd out on your
No, Blank rolled a 6.
Your
I rolled a
attack.
crit
but you want 2 things.
because I crit. So
The
that
crit
should
would
be
get
2
2 things.
things versus
Yeah.
a 6 is 1 thing, and a crit
Yeah,
is 2
but you
things.
didn't get shocked.
But you didn't take any shock when you got shoved in the cauldron. You just got shoved in the cauldron.
That's fair. And the
what
cauldron
he said.
ended up. I thought it was a lot more dangerous to get shoved to the cauldron than it was.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to make it narratively interesting and less like actually trying to kill each other, but if you're going for actual damage.
I don't know
I
if
actually
Blank
climbed
was.
either of
I
that, because
was now. I don't know if Blank was before.
I was intending to get you stuck there for a while. That didn't really happen. But I'm assuming that time has passed. I personally am perfectly fine with taking the shock and being stuck there for a bit because it was a crit. It feels good to have something awesome happen on a crit.
Cool. That works.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes you a little bit to finally like extricate yourself from the pit.
I would like to resist the muscles shock though.
Yeah.
Was there a
Consequences
button to
resist 'em.
actually resist that or no?
If you
You just
actually-
roll your action.
yeah, you use an action to resist.
Okay. The correct action in this case is Constitution of just
Smash.
power through it. Smash.
I'm too strong to be. I don't
I
care that my
smashed the
tendon is
pain.
severed.
Yep. There we go. We got some failures. This
Yeah, but that's only
was-
stress.
That's
Yeah,
still
but it's
3
enough
stress,
stress that
and a
it
partial
just...
resist means the shock moves over to a different stat.
Okay, so shock moves over to brains for sure. Also, I just stressed
Oh,
out. Ah,
So that means you go
that-
feral?
Yep. What's your
yes.
impulse?
Vengeful?
Mm,
yeah.
someone's gonna die. But not right away,
Not
because
I,
she's
but I'm
running
trapped you in
away, I
place for a
think.
bit.
You might be trapped in place. I have a bow and
You do
arrow.
have a bow and arrow.
But I want to do something more interesting than just sticking you. Can I try and shoot the... And we want some... Yeah, okay, I want to shoot something to make it so that the door is stuck closed, so that we actively cannot go through it anymore. We are not progressing the mission at all until this is dealt
Until you
with.
you're making an obstacle that we have to clear in front of the door so that I don't leave you.
Yes.
Well, I just put a volley after, like, wave after wave of rabbit-based enemies at your
At the other
teammates.
yeah, we're just making this take longer. I think that makes sense. I imagine there might be like a nearby, like if you said there were nets, maybe there's some like netted cargo on like a bunch of netted crates or dwarven like
Yes, and it's
parts
kind of
nearby.
pulled up right in front of the door, so I shoot an arrow. The crates and cargo and net like lands in front of the door. It'll take a while to actually clear away, and I'm like, no, you don't get to leave.
Perfect.
Make the
Nash
mission harder.
Nash looks
Roll.
at you. Oh yeah, you have to roll to resist it.
Do
Not
I
to
actually
resist.
roll?
Oh yeah,
do
you're not
the-
rolling. I thought you were rolling. Yeah, you roll to act out your vengeful dark impulse when you go feral.
Yeah.
Alright.
Another thing about going feral is if you have an ability that says pay stress, if it's part of going feral, you don't pay the stress.
I mean, you
So
don't
you're
have any
doing a
stress
trick.
left.
Well, you're doing a trick shot. Isn't that a thing you can do?
Yes,
That-
I do.
This feels like it would be
Yeah, you just get to do it
do
without
it with
paying
like
stress.
greater effect, basically, to do a trick shot of like I shoot through multiple parts of that net to make sure it follows properly or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, make a decision, act immediately, take a dark heart. Is there actually a roll?
I
No, there isn't.
you just
well-
do it without rolling. I think you still have to roll.
I think you
Either
still
sounds
roll.
like the
You can
fastest way.
do.
I remember us talking about that.
Okay. Then yes, I will make that roll.
Okay.
You seal the room.
I would like to use an action to resist being trapped in this room by diving through the door. This is sort of up for group discussion if we want to allow it, but I like to dive through the door before it tumbles through so that I'm kind of trapped in the next room, but I want to use an action to resist being trapped if that works for Marissa or if that would override it too much.
What are your defenses?
My defense
Anything
is
that
my
applies?
starting cloak of darkness prevents you from being seen. That's it.
That's not a defense.
I feel like that would override it here. at
'Kay.
least.
Then I think I see it tumble and I look at you and I like gleefully smile and I scamper back to the others.
That seems fair.
Beautiful.
Back at the scorpion fight,
Yeah.
well, I guess we follow Nash, and she like runs back to the door, and she throws it open, and now there's a giant scorpion that wasn't there before. But wait, it's made of rabbits.
hmm
Yeah.
Dugnall and the dudes are gonna smash this thing. So is that a group action with my minions? Like, how does that work?
Your minions, well, it could be. Yeah, your minions have actions.
Yeah, they have smash, and I have smash.
It
Yeah.
makes more sense. Your bros can assist.
Okay, so they would increase my effect.
Yeah.
Got
That
it.
makes
Okay.
more sense to me than the team action, right?
Yeah, because they also can't take stress. They don't have a stress
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
clause.
Team
They would-
action requires stress, but
Okay.
assist just opens them up to consequences, which makes sense. They're also beating up on the scorpion.
I'm considering doing my Battle Master, which is spending stress to do any of this. Whatever will
It's
help
tied
me out.
down by chain. It's already tied down by chains.
Okay, so doing that will not have any effect.
I think the chains are basically making it on equal footing too already.
Yeah,
Got
like
it.
you're on equal footing. It is tied down and thrashing feebly against magic magnet powered chains.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll, and then I'll describe what happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How bad it goes.
I think you're at, because you're on equal footing. We decided that you're on, so that's like standard effect.
Which would bump up because they're assisting me.
Yes, it'd be great
Okay.
effect.
Got it.
The six of you could pulverize it. But also it's big and made of stone,
That's
so
true.
it's not without risk.
Yeah.
So what's the word for it?
Risky great.
It's dire, not deadly.
Okay. All right,
This is
here we
why
go.
you need a giant robot. Like
A 6!
It doesn't matter. Okay, yes.
So Dundle has his katana, which it's a trusty katana because you can do that. I forgot what it was called at the beginning, and then I looked it up. I was like, oh, all right, it's trusty, which means it's hard to disarm me and break it. So he jumps up in the air.
Just using it like a bat. I guess
Yeah.
it's hard to break.
Jumps up in the air with his katana, and it just starts like going for chinks in the armor, like wah wah wah.
But it's stone all the way through. The inner stone is softer. Two of the dwarves just commenting on your fighting style on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Belch, hold him there.
so eventually, it's
Wait, so
there's
that's 3.
one health left.
Oh, is it
right?
1 or 3? Because that's great effect, right?
Oh, so that's 3.
It
yeah.
is great effect.
So
yeah.
eventually, the scorpion is reduced to a chain bag filled with loose gravel, and all of the purple like oozes out and evaporates.
Tugnall does the classic like when he puts a katana away, like wipes the purple off and then like sheaths it like on his hip. Glad for you to join us.
We have a problem. Blank appears to have gone insane and tried to kill me and is currently blocking our way further into this dungeon.
Then the group of you look up and you see where the scorpion burrowed out from. There's more ways out of this room.
Fine,
I'm
we go
curious
up.
if you have to roll trick or not.
It's up to
Do
the
you
other
genuinely
PCs.
believe it?
I'm willing to roll trick if the other PCs want me to.
I think Trick would like make Doug like believe you more, but I think either way, like he's just gonna go take off his sunglasses and go.
You hear more burrowing in the walls. You did issue a challenge to the whole dungeon.
Perfect. If I see another way to go, I say, tell him I left if he comes back. I'm not here. And then Nash just like continues onwards the way we were supposed to go.
I mean, the way we were supposed to go was past me.
Yeah, but
Yes, it was. There are other ways out. They are now damaged from all of the battle in this room. Were originally designed for stone rabbits, but they're not that big.
oh, then she looks at Varn and says, "Can you clear a path?"
Fine.
And yeah, I will create a chain ladder to go up into the scorpion hole.
Yeah. I don't think that's really a roll. I think you just that feels
The
like
tier
something where-
0. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's some risk, as in there's stuff doing, but like taking action is really all I was trying to incorporate, and not so much like hanging out, unless that's the plan to do a battle royale. But yeah, you can make it up with a chain ladder. Are we trying to sneak up, or are we just still just arguing through the halls of this dungeon as we've been doing before.
Well, I can go get blank if you two want to go.
Yeah, we can go to the other room.
Yeah, so we'll
Continue to
maybe
guard
if
the entrance, I guess.
yeah. I'll be like,
Yeah.
dude, stay here. I'm gonna go get blank. Like some like dwarves are gonna stay there.
Perfect. They're gonna maintain the challenge.
Yeah, they're gonna
Or
maintain the
maintain your
perimeter.
exit, because that's
Yeah.
this is
That's
I'm
fair.
gonna get blank to come back to the exit with me, or depending on if blank is going to shoot me, I'm gonna stab blank.
yeah. Cool. So yeah, in the room above, you do see like you poke your little heads up and you do see that there are more of those stone rabbit scorpions like patrolling. And then we also see real big wheels with the stone rabbits in them, like running
Of
on
course, like
the
hamster wheels,
wheels.
but for the stone
Um,
rabbits.
Yeah. And it seems to be very steampunk
Both of them
charging.
talking.
So if we're
Uh,
seeing multiple of these, this is like a large room that we find, or how does
Yeah.
it look? Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty big room. I'm trying to explain the spirit of industry stuff as like the rooms are purpose built. It's not like you have an evil dungeon where you build weird evil stuff.
They have an
Um,
entirely utilitarian dungeon.
Yeah, theirs are focused on like we're doing industry. This is the rabbit training room where they get strong.
They train
They
to
level up.
become rabbit scorpions.
Yeah.
But also
The
We see them
multi-purpose.
practicing the
Rabbit.
fusion dance technique and other things to turn into scorpions.
But also the big wheels seem to be generating the purple goo. Like as they spin them, it is off-putting energy that is exported as the purple goo you saw earlier in the rabbit creation room.
Okay.
I I don't know how to decide how these work.
I'm just the first Power Rangers movie. I don't know if anybody ever saw it, but it was
I
a
didn't see the
couple of
first
dudes
Power Rangers.
and
I don't think
purple
I've
goo.
seen any of
Let
the
me
Power Rangers
see.
movies. I've seen like a decent amount of Power Rangers, but not.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's the one I watched a shit ton as a kid.
Likely.
Well, I have a thing that
But
I'd like to be doing ideally in the other room.
what are you doing in the other room?
Yeah, so before Dougie comes back in, you're yanking at the bolt in your shoe. What are you doing?
I'm stuck in the room, so I decided that forget this yanking at the bolt in my shoe. There is tables. I'm going to use said table to absolutely make my own rabbit army and send it back after Nash, because that's the best way to spend my time if I'm stuck in
I
here.
do want to point out that you don't know that the rabbit y'all did successfully create wasn't like under your control.
It was not.
I'm one shocked brains, two she didn't, so can I.
Hmm.
So when you're shock, you just take a -1d to the next roll, then it clears, right?
Correct.
I also already have 1d to a next roll and it clears.
The next roll of that type.
Yes.
So, considering I'm at 0 dice already, and I'm
And you're
shocked.
shocked. So this is roll 3 dice and take the lowest? How would we want to do this?
I could just use the Dark Heart and then still take the lowest.
That'd be easier.
I think you
but
have to use a dark heart to empower this action.
That makes sense.
Fair enough. I am determined to make things worse for us. Whether or not I make a rabbit is almost immaterial. I just want Nash.
Your goal is to make things worse for us. That is your intent.
Yes.
Perfect. So that's what happens on a success. I'm sure that's how it'll go. It'll also happen on a failure.
Well, actually, okay, the success then, let's see. The success is actually create a rabbit with the intention of going after Nash.
Yeah.
That seems like a fairly impossible thing to do, especially with the total 1 dice.
Yeah, you're going. This is Just make the roll.
You're alone in the room, so this would be fine position.
Fine position, light results because you have not done this successfully in the standard practice, and you are specifically trying to make a vengeful stone golem rabbit.
You're pouring all of your malice,
pouring all of your hate into it.
Yes.
Exactly.
The
my
one
God.
rabbit to rule them all.
It's just like that movie Samaritan.
I'm sure.
A 1.
Oh, a 1.
1, yeah. So I do think you take... You misconstrued hate and blood to pour into this rabbit to empower it for evil. So I do think now you take the shock to the body as you begin draining your hateful essence into the mold along with the earth. And
I'm like, it's not working, and like working my heel free, like it grab down to the place where it's like bloodied and whatnot. I'm like, well, if we're doing hate, I'll like stick the blood on it and then it'll work better. And no, apparently ignoring wounds does not help things.
no,
so
it really doesn't.
Actually see as
Doug
he enters the room?
sees
Doug
a
walks in.
malformed. Doug sees the mold click and start to crack open as a hateful rabbit emerges, simply not sent on vengeance on Blank's enemies, but sent on vengeance towards Blank for bringing it into this world with such evil.
Perfect.
It's just going,
How dare you create me?
So Doug enters the room as the like a golem bunny hops and tries to destroy.
It hops and then its head like kind of catches and glitches, and now it has 2 heads.
Oh no! You've created a bugged rabbit.
Well, it's bugged because you
bugged
didn't
bunny.
clear the mold from the last time you tried this. You just put more into it.
okay. I
Glowing
will-
of purple because I'm like, well, I need to add more. That's obviously why.
Doug will see this, and then
As
just
it's
go,
like preparing to charge at
Yeah,
creator.
now I'm
Glowing
gonna
red
Battle
eyes.
Master to do like the classic samurai, like cross the field in the second with my sword, and like I'm hitting it as I'm going through it.
Yeah. So you see that, and then you look up and you see a sword. Like, it's not like a charge, because I'm picturing the anime sword slash where there's
Where you just
somehow,
like
jump
take a
flying
20-foot
through
like
the
single
shot.
stride forward.
Yeah, it's a 20-foot single stride forward as I'm like attacking and
So you see this, not the, you see like the action lines behind Dougie, and he's like swinging his katana.
yeah. So I'm smashing it. I'm smashing it. Now watch where this is where the roll's gonna go to shit. Right?
Yeah. It's just gonna like 180-degree rotate its head around against you. Oh, okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, single stroke. It's made of stone, so you more just like catch it and throw it against the wall. And it shatters.
It's less like an elegant sword and more just like a hammer in the shape of a katana.
Yeah.
that I'm, like hitting things with.
Yeah.
Who would teach a hobgoblin swordsmanship? No, you have the
Oh.
smash skill,
Yeah.
not the swordsman skill.
Yeah, I'm not being precise. I'm smashing it. But I'm doing it like I'm being precise, which is like bonk.
Yeah. So now you're stuck in this room, and the other two are in the rabbit training facility, as they're getting big and strong under the watchful eye of the Zord Scorpions.
Oh, there's Zord scorpions in here?
Well, they're made of the
Multiple,
rabbits,
I believe,
like
were
the
mentioned,
Zord and
yes.
the Scorpions.
You know, just the thing that had 6 o'clock. Enjoy some more.
I think Nash is gonna say, I have an idea. And she's gonna like try to sneak up to like an empty hamster ball and jump in it
You
with
want
her cloak, and she's gonna try and ride around in the hamster wheel and hope they won't notice that she is not a
they're
bunny.
wheels.
They're
hamster
stationary wheels.
Yeah, they're stationary wheels. They're
Oh,
goo charging platforms
I thought
that they're
they were
using as a
hamster-
training facility.
I see. I thought they were hamster balls that they were.
No,
rolling
no.
around on.
You haven't seen what the rabbits are being trained for yet, though. So maybe.
Lovely. Then I think I'm just gonna try and sneak past unless there's something in here that we need.
Oh, the giant glowing vats of chemicals are the
Oh.
carrot that I've left in this room. If
The
people,
purple-
the giant,
the,
yeah,
like,
vats of
magic
purple
fuel.
magic. Yeah. You don't know anything about it, and I don't know if I do, but that's the fun thing in this room to distract you. For someone who enjoys weird magical creation.
Yeah, I have an occult revelry.
Oh boy.
There's magic goo.
All right. Well,
And a bunch of dangerous bad guys. And also some like
all right.
husk
Tell
dwarves
me
like
about,
sweeping.
tell me about these wheels. I assume that they're connected to an axle. That's what, connected to a pump or something.
I mean, it is dwarves. It's gears. They're like it's like ladder rungs on the outside of the wheel that spin a gear.
Mhm.
And then the gear spins a magic cube, and then the magic cube launches plasma into the tube that condenses into the purple goo.
Okay. Well, then I think chaos is in order. Yeah. So probably a high level spell, but I would like to wrap the wheels in my chains and spin them as fast as they can go.
All right. That does seem deadly because of all of the things in the room. You're just like walking to the middle of it and like throwing chains out and ripping them back down like you're starting an evil lawnmower.
Yeah.
No, not
But-
ripping them back down, wrapped and then forcing them to spin
Yes,
so that I
okay.
still have control. Yeah.
With the intent to just spin the wheel, that feels like something within your power. That seems like expected results.
Okay.
If you're doing this with multiple
2 or
wheels, would
3?
this be a tier 2 spell? One wheel feels like you do with a tier 1 spell, but all of the
I would
wheels
agree.
feels like a tier 2 spell.
All the wheels feels like a tier 2 or multiple wheels?
More than one wheel feels like a higher level spell, but like a
Okay.
single wheel feels like tier 1.
Okay. So I'll go tier 2 with it.
Okay.
And I will again overload because I'm just cutting loose on this one.
Overload on a deadly one. That's no resistance. Okay. I'm
Alright.
not helping. I'm gonna go do my own thing while you're doing this. So
Fair enough.
good luck.
Yeah, this feels like a bad one to help on.
Yeah. It's just that I'm not helping.
One for that, +1, and I'll spend a dark heart because it's deadly.
I think I
and
just
wanna
say that
win.
in character. I'm not helping as you like go off into the middle of this room.
Oh, there's a 6 anyway. You do it, you control the wheels. Are you making less goo or more goo or the same
I'm
amount
making
of goo?
the most goo possible. I would like
Mm.
to
Maximum
For
the
goo.
evil
God.
I would like to overclock the goo, please.
Yes, overclock the goo. All right. I do think the best result is goo spewing everywhere. Like the wheels begin to spin faster and faster, and the scorpions like
The pressure
shift
valve
towards
is, like,
you and begin like
bursts.
snapping in your direction, and then you start hearing pops as the lids start popping off of the goo chambers and it begins to overflow. And because the rabbits and the scorpions made of the rabbits are nominally held together with the goo, they begin like Cronenberging into like what's that Pokemon? This is just a
Muck?
ball of rocks.
Oh.
Geodude?
Graveler?
Ball
Oh yeah,
of
Graveler.
rocks.
He begins,
Okay.
Graveler,
they begin
Golem.
like Gravelering, but like more in a horrifying way with like Rocky Rabbit screams. They don't like this. They were alive.
When Graveler turns into Golem, they suddenly gain a nose. That must be very disconcerting.
There's a lot of things disconcerting about Pokemon evolutions.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing a thing that like there's a theory that Graveler turning into Golem, like there was another Pokemon that they just like swapped.
There's several like very
Yeah.
plausible theories about Pokemon getting swapped.
Yeah.
Butterfree and Venomoth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Either way, you get a Cronenberg Graveler now. It's screaming in pain. But also kind of sounds like a bag of rocks being hit against a tile floor.
Bag of rocks.
While that's happening, I'm just leaving this room and trying to like, okay, I think let's get out of here. I'm gonna go look for the loot. I'm gonna try and sneak past everyone during the distraction and find a place full of loot. I'm going to say, because of Marissa's previous role, that we can't find all of the loot without going into the room that she blocked off before.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely
But I'd
stuff
like
you
to
need
find
on the other side of
what
that
else
room.
can be found here.
You've definitely burned off some of the good vehicle bits.
Yeah. But I'd like to find what else can be found here. And
Yeah.
I think I'm just trying to sneak past everyone as they're focused on Varn.
Yeah, sneak into the next room from the training facility.
Yep. So I'm going to skulk my way through there. I'm spending a Dark Heart because I have 0 dice. So that brings me up to 1 die. Varn,
Yeah.
I assume you're not directly helping me, even if, at least not any more than the fictional positioning of what you have done.
The fictional
I-
positioning, I think, puts you at default because all of the bad guys are having their own problems now.
That's fair.
They're getting Cronenberged.
Okay.
Yeah, expected results of sneaking through the room. You don't.
I would like to use my defense of my starting Cloak of Darkness to avoid being seen.
You might not get to the room, but you're
But I don't
halfway
get
in.
seen. Yeah, because I assume a mixed success would be like I'm through the room, but someone spots me as I find the next room. I guess I'm not seen, but I don't get to the next room.
That makes the most sense. You get to the door, and it's locked. It's just
Yeah,
quite
it's just
frankly a locked door.
I have an idea. Stone door.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, it is made
It's
of
too
stone.
heavy to open?
They like
It's
stone in
alive
this.
because it's now spattered with goo.
Oh,
that's a cool
yeah,
one.
that's
Door
great.
alive. Door alive. I like. So yeah, you get to the door and you reach for the handle and you grab it, and its sculpted fur is now there's a rabbit face stretching out of the door.
Oh, it's like American Werewolf in London.
Perfect.
As the door is slow, and then you look up and there's more rabbits trying to squeeze themselves out of the door,
Yeah, and like growing out of the walls.
but they can't quite break free because they weren't assembled properly and they can't move right. They're in much pain. This whole room is pain of the stone rabbits.
It's straight out of a horror movie now. Perfect.
And then you look to the side and you can't read the languages of light, but viewers know it says vehicle bay.
Perfect. When perturbed, any good tinker, including Nash, their first thing is explosives will solve all of my problems.
Yes, explosives are the tinkerer's best friend.
Yep.
What's more tinkerer than destruction?
Yep. So, I think I'm going to spend stress to mix an explosive concoction using the remains of my last batch of fire oil as the starting component. It is a literal, vial of oil or jug of oil.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to find whatever else she can find lying around to compress it and find a fuse. And I have a tool pouch already on me with whatever I need to tweak things. she's gonna.
You get some villager's underwear and you shove it in the vial and then
Yep.
you lighter,
Perfect.
torch, and bomb.
Yep. I'm gonna turn my fire oil into an explosive.
Cool. I'm down.
Okay.
I'm assuming with the goal of blowing up at the door.
Yes. I think that would still be Tinker to do, though, which is just allowing me to do
Yes.
something that isn't feasible without
You're
spending
cleverly
stress.
destroying. You're cleverly making it through the door.
Okay. Then I will roll to tinker the right tool for the job, or am I doing something else? Tinker's right?
I thought Tinker was the open the door roll.
Yeah, that's what I was double
Blowing it up.
checking. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And if you fail, we'll see how.
Not a 6!
Not a 6. That's the mixed results. Right?
Ooh, what if the process of opening the door pops out all of the other rabbits that are trying to get out of the door?
I love
Yeah,
that.
you're buried in rabbits.
I mean, I'm
the
standing
volatile-
back, but I do like the idea that the rabbits...
They blow up and then the rabbits jump.
Yeah. The door blows apart into rabbits.
Yeah.
That have
It's
now
like a
just
magic trick.
dog-piled you.
Yeah. You've been
Google
dog-piled in rabbits.
invading rabbits.
I do think you take shock because of the rabbit dog pile. They're made of stone. They look different than the other rabbits because it's a different stone in the door.
Mm. I'm gonna try and resist that. I think I'm gonna try and like stand further back or like jump, try to quickly, hopefully like jump over them as they're piling down upon me. I'm gonna, I think, use finesse to try and like precisely avoid them as they're tumbling down.
Cool.
That is a partial resist and 3 stress.
Yeah.
Partial
resist, you get to change it from body damage to some other kind of damage.
I'm gonna go with guts. I am just done. I've run out of patience. I'm tired. I want to go have a nap. I want to log off, take a shower. It's been so long. I had a quiz today. Yeah, real life
rapid
is
streams
distracting
are
me.
echoing in your brain.
Yeah, parents are fighting again.
I'll go to my dad's this weekend.
Yeah. So.
Well, as Nash has tried to leave me behind twice now, I'm gonna run past her and through the door.
Yes. So you run into the next room.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, and there's tanks. There's tanks on this room.
Nice.
Excellent.
There's
Military or liquid filled?
Oh, that's a good
Military.
question.
That is a
Military
great
tanks.
question.
Military
tanks.
tanks
with open tread and rabbits that are stationed in the tread. To power said tanks.
Here's
You do also see like a hopper basket on top of the tank, also filled with rabbits that you're assuming get shot out of the tank.
Here's a question. Are these rabbits, do they have stone helmets that go like with their ears popping out of it?
No, these are the graduates from the rabbit training hall.
Oh, okay, so they're rabbit
sent
soldiers.
to the tank hall.
Got it. Okay. This is rabbit conscription.
Yeah, and the tanks are like, there's just a lot of them. Like, that's the thing with the spirit of industry. They build, they don't really do anything.
And they don't really do anything else other than build. They're just going to keep building tanks.
So, yeah, it's a giant tank room with fully geared up, like they're all ready to go.
They're all functional. They're just never going to get their orders to go.
Each and every tank is staffed with a full set of rabbits, both in the ammo hopper and in the treads. Oh, yes. And then you do see stationed along the side what is very clearly the tank drivers. They're lagomorph.
A what?
The same species,
Rabbit.
the kind of rabbit. More like a hare rabbit. Like the other ones are like garden rabbits. A much taller, lankier rabbit. Like you see a bunch of those positioned along the sides. They're very clearly the tank drivers. who graduate from a different part of the rabbit golem dungeon.
Is it like the huge rabbits that are like the generals?
Yeah, they're like more like hares rather than like like when they're long and they got
Okay then.
Meanwhile, in the other room,
yeah.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, in the other room,
Yeah. Yeah, so Doug has dispatched the rabbit that you've tried to make to hunt down Nash. Blank, what are you doing?
gestures at rabbit parts. I think
We
that you
need-
watch the face or stationary mouth of under the hood. Makes total sense. Go through a moment of like, I am so angry at you, and I am about ready to like fingers twitching to bowstrings. Let's attack you two, and then realize, wait, no, you killed the rabbit. You killed the rabbit for good reasons. And so I'm just going to look sadly at the double-headed that have rolled across the floor but are still somehow connected with the neck. Wave or like put an arm across the table to kind of get a bunch of the parts into some bottomless bag in my cloak, and then take out a pickaxe and gesture with it at you.
Do you not have a microphone or something, or?
I pull out another pickaxe, start laboriously moving towards the wall next to where I blocked it off, and start hitting like a mining operation.
Okay. Don't
And
worry,
then
I'll
I
take
bring
care of
an
this.
arm that goes way further than it should back at you holding the other pickaxe.
I just grab it and go. Just start smashing the wall to get through.
so the two of you are gonna smash through the wall next to the door you barricaded.
Mhm.
Oh, that does use a tick of my supply.
Reasonably.
All right.
Cool.
Do you want to team up on this?
It probably. Do you want to lead and the pickaxe be my assist?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, just 3 dice. Probably a great effect, right?
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
we have the tool for it. We have people working towards it. I'd say it's a great effect.
I mean, I don't know what a great effect would be.
I don't know.
Get through wall.
We get through
That
wall.
feels like
Roll
expected
2
results.
dice
If you
versus the
succeed, you're through.
Got it. All right. Rolling. 6.
Yes, you punch a hole in the wall next to the door, and you step through, and you turn and look, and it's like the same size and shape, just like 4 feet to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess a great success might be a matter of the next room isn't necessarily guarded as we get what we were supposed to.
Well, you get to the next room, and it's the tank construction room. Like you
Ooh.
see, there's like stone treads being assembled by husk dwarves. You do get bumped into by the sweeper dwarf.
He's just grumbling.
He's just pushing his broom. Yeah, he grumbles on autopilot. It's push, grumble, push, grumble.
I
It's
have.
like
No, go ahead.
there is absolutely nothing that sweeper thing is sweeping up because the bristles on the broom have been worn away over centuries, so it's not even touching the ground anymore.
Oh, it's fine dwarven construction. Stone bristles on a stone broom.
Of course.
It's fine.
Yeah. I have a terrible compel for myself. Is there any these are undead dwarves, so they were once alive dwarves, right?
No, they're dead dwarves.
They're dead. But were they
Yeah.
once alive here?
Yes, they were once alive. Now they are dead. The spirit of industry has kept them moving, but they do not have life again.
Got it. So they probably, in this construction area, might have some booze.
Yeah, you're right. There, you could look for the break room.
Ancient dwarven ale.
Ancient dwarven booze. It gets better with age.
You didn't go to the tank room, otherwise, like the goo room. Otherwise, that would have been a different
That would
setup.
have been a different one. Yeah.
We reconvened the distraction versus the actual let's do things team, and then swapped our roles.
Yep. So Doug will say, like, I assume you know what you're looking for. I'm going to go explore. And I'm just gonna go find a break room to see if I can get like a barrel of ale I can bring back.
I go look for the break room. Cool.
Yeah.
Give me a scan as you
Scanning.
navigate your way through the tank construction area.
A 5.
Mixed results. Mixed results. I do think that you do locate a break room. There is an ancient dwarven vending machine. Still seems fine. Dwarven expiry dates are in millennia. It does seem like they didn't quite restock the liquor cabinet in the break room before they all mysteriously perished.
Mm-hmm. So
Never enough in there anyways.
Is there no booze?
Well, any self-respecting dwarven worker would carry their own. As you turn back and look at the once self-respecting dwarven workers, who are all equipped with the company issue hip flask. That's where the booze is.
I think as this is happening, Blank would like to just scan the room and start putting whatever might be useful into a bag to bring.
You've seen a gear before, yeah.
You've seen a gear?
Yeah.
There's plenty of gears and screws and rivets in this room, and you
Who cares
know
what
all
Nash
about
says?
where
You
they
can
go.
do it.
You know all about where those go.
Okay, position effect?
Yeah, I mean, light risk. The only real risk is, like, environmental factors, because the dwarves aren't, like, a combat threat. They just live here. They work on autopilot. But, you know, if you rip something out of their hands and they get bumped out of their task operations, it could mess a whole bunch of stuff up, and pieces could start falling, and you could get crushed by a tank.
Effect?
It's a light risk. And yeah, expected results. If you succeed, you get a bag of stuff and 1 tick on the vehicle loot chart. Or, you know,
Awesome.
2 if you succeed, or whatever.
I am definitely going to go and rip things out of their hands to trade effect for position.
Ooh, I was gonna assist because I also want to rip their booze off of their hips.
So you're assisting by destroying the corpses to make them easier to loot.
Two different roles here, simply because one is to actually get stuff and one is to, well,
I want something specifically. You want general stuff.
Versus.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But absolutely, let's actually both roll at the same time and then see how the results mess us over.
Both roll finesse.
Oh, finesse?
Or whatever you're stealing with.
Oh, I'm just literally ripping it off of their belts.
So you're using smash.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing scan to find the most useful things, and if the most useful things happen to be in the middle of being worked on, too bad.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
4?
3!
Yeah.
Well, at least it's a...
The dice are coming around.
Do I get a dark heart for this?
Success, so I think that's 2 ticks on the clock.
It's a mix,
but then there's something that goes bad.
But you have +1 effect from the strong effect, I thought. From assistance.
Yeah. So it should be 2 because +1 effect, but then something
2,
goes
but a
bad.
bad thing. I think
Yeah.
right.
Do I get dark heart for going for the booze?
Yeah, it went very poorly. It's gonna be the...
Okay.
So yeah, I do think the consequence is that a ramp begins to lower from the ceiling as the dwarves begin to start to pull a tank. I've used the word tank too many times. Begin to pull a tank up into the, like, vehicle bay.
The room where that they're in.
Yeah, the room that they're in. Like, tank assembly room to
Yeah,
Mhm,
that makes sense.
arming room. The team of dwarves begins pulling it up, and the drunk kills the like sled dwarf team. Like you charge them for their booze too, and obviously it begins sliding
It
back
slides
down.
back. Oh no!
And there's a rolling tank coming towards both of you.
Mm,
What do
Yes.
you do? It will
mm.
crush you.
Do we want to deal with it right away, or do we want to flash to the other disaster?
Yeah, in the other room, you see the floor start to lower.
Gonna suggest one thing, since there was a complication and a true fail in that. Is Dougie getting the DTs? Little muscle shock from shaking, not drinking enough.
I do think that there's gonna be some shock. You're in.
I would assume this would be like awareness, right? I didn't see this.
Yeah,
happen.
you are laser focused.
Yeah, I'll take the shock to
Not actually
brain.
noticing the tank rolling towards you. I
Yeah,
at
you're
least
still
nothing.
looting the dwarves as the tank
Yeah.
rolls towards your friend and all of the stuff around. Like, it's
Just whistling the Dark Dwarf drinking song.
Yeah.
It's like
that's a good call. Yes, no, we did a expanded penalty for rolling bad.
mm,
So yeah, in the vehicle bay, the floor is lowering, and you hear the sounds of Dougie, fighting mindless corpses for booze. And also, there's this room of
Whistling.
rabbits and machines and
Yep.
stuff.
So, is Nash still buried in rabbits, or with the resistance did that remove the burial in addition to the shock? I don't know. I mean, I moved the shock. I didn't remove.
You moved the shock. Yeah, no, that was the main effect. Like, they're not
Okay.
gonna
So I
stay on
I
you.
get
They're gonna
out
like
of the
slowly limp off, but you couldn't like immediately do anything. But like, yeah, no, you could
Yeah.
slough them off. You got hurt because of
grumbling.
it.
Nash follows Varn into the vehicle bay, and it's like kind of stops short, like realizing the room she's walked into. But you were here first, Varn. What are you up to?
Yeah, I think Varn will turn to you and say,
Can you pilot one of those things?
Yes. She just like like her eyes widen in a bit of a mad excitement, and she says, "Let's go." And she like just rushes to the first one.
Okay,
As you
yeah.
begin to approach, you like as you begin to like run towards one of the tanks. You don't. It's not immediate when you start running, but when you get within a certain radius of the tank, you do notice one of the hares like turn and look at their assigned tank because someone has approached it. And when you get even closer, are there guns here? What's like a tank
Musket
driver weapon?
pistols is like, again, we're kind of like steampunk,
I mean,
so there would
they
be
obviously
guns,
have
but
little tubes that they can launch the
I assumed
rabbits
they'd,
with.
they'd have a
Yes,
like
fair.
a rocket launcher, like bazooka, but it shoots a
Yeah.
rabbit.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you
Bun
do
bazooka.
see him
exactly
pick
like
up
Power
a
World.
pick
Yeah.
up a tube and reach down for a basket of rabbit. Oh, to only one of them because you're approaching his
Yeah.
tank.
Pick me, pick me, pick me.
It's gotta be the Pikas, the tiny ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're being threatened off of the tank. Like, he's not been given orders to like go to war, but like, someone goes to touch your tank, you aim your rabbit cannon at him.
I will leap forward and unsheath the powerful seaworthy sword, throw it with my magic at the bunzuka.
All right. Yeah, so you launch the sword at the hare
Mm-hmm.
with the attempt to like just kill him.
I don't know about kill. We'll find out. Let's see how good this goes. But
Yeah.
it's tier 1, I would think. Yeah. 6.
Yeah.
And remember, it's a powerful sword, so it will knock back whatever it hits.
Yeah, so I do think you throw the sword and it flies very straight, because it's not like you threw it overhand and it spins or anything. No, it just rail guns the sword straight into the chest of the rabbit, or the hare, and pins him to his locker, like behind him. He gets pulled back up to the locker, dropping his rabbit launcher on the ground to his feet. He begins kicking his powerful legs against the floor. He's a magic golem hare. He's not bleeding out or anything, but he is pinned to the wall and like stomping his large feet against his locker. I don't know what they have in lockers, but that's what
Fly,
I'm
you
picturing.
fool!
Yeah.
I'm yelling to Nash.
Yeah, Nash is running into the tank and is just gonna try and like get into it as fast as possible and start piloting. So she probably like climbs on top of it. I'm guessing there's like a hatch down inside. So she's gonna like open it up and jump down in and try to start piloting.
There's like a bunch of foot pedals for real big feet.
Interesting. She's going to Oh. No, she's going to figure out how it's supposed to be piloted. She's going to be careful about this. And I think she's going to do it by pressing all of the pedals and just like, what does this one do? Pull the lever, push the pedal, and she's going to...
It's foot
Great
pedals,
version
because I
of
don't think
Nintendo.
hares have enough arm strength to
No, you're right.
operate levers.
So she's
Whole
gonna like
pedals.
press down on each of the pedals to figure out what each one
I
does.
So
think because,
these-
again, you're looking at a
these
hare,
tanks
like,
are-
which is huge. You're like just chucking your entire body weight at each pedal in
Yeah, I'm
terms
like a
of
raccoon driving a car.
These tanks are powered by stone robot rabbits playing Dance Dance Revolution.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. And they shoot other stone robot rabbits.
Yep.
But the slightly bigger ones are in charge. They drive the tank.
But I
They
think I'm
make the
gonna like
tank-
tinker with the tank controls in that I'm kind of experimenting with them by using them and seeing what they do to pilot it, to learn how to pilot it, I guess.
Most of them appear to be making high-pitched noises.
The tank doesn't move when I press most of the levers.
Oh no, it moves, but the pedals trigger high-pitched noises that let the rabbits and the treads know what to do.
Perfect. Okay. If that
Yeah, it is
if it works, it
DDR.
works.
You push, it makes a sound, then like one of the wheels starts moving slightly.
Okay.
You push and the top turns.
And I think the lovely thing is, unless any of us can hear that high-pitched noise, it feels like nothing is happening. It's silent.
Yeah,
You only hear it from inside the tank.
Yeah, you hear stone grinding as like the pieces begin to move.
I'm gonna try and pilot the tank towards the exit. Presumably the exit is closed, and I will yell...
Oh, I need the scan to learn how to drive the tank.
Oh, it is okay.
Right?
I was gonna ask. I might be.
I was
this
explaining it
tinkering
as complicated.
Okay, is this tinkering? If I'm just like doing it to find out, feels like
Doing to find
tinkering
out.
with...
Yes, tinkering. You will have. Yeah. Yes. The downside to using tinkering rather than scan to figure out is that you go from like light risk to some risk.
Perfect. I'm doing it.
Yeah. 4. You start driving it. You do crash a little bit.
It's fine. We didn't
You
need
start
that
you
rail
are-
anyways.
the
That
ramp
part of the
that is
shred.
opening?
Sorry.
You start driving it into the ramp that is opening as it...
No, that would be foolhardy. You do accidentally back up into another tank though that is now also rolling down the ramp. But Nash is not the one rolling down the ramp.
Perfect.
Don't
No,
worry,
there are
I have a
2
way out of
tanks.
this.
I think
falling
I
down the
yell. I yell out like, "We have to open the door to get out of here!" And you see, like, you hear it muffled through the stone tank. Somebody open the door! Also, tell me where to go. I can't see out of here very well.
You're not tall enough.
Yeah, I have to stop. I have to like stop with the pedals and then climb up onto the giant, oversized chair to peer out of the tiny, like looking hole,
The tiny
looking
little
slit.
slit.
Yeah, and then turn back.
You hop off the thing to like body slam a pedal.
Yep. So I'm struggling, but managing barely.
So I guess with the ramp then?
Yeah,
The
what's
ramp that
happening with
goes
the
to
two
assembly
tanks?
room. There's 2 tanks rolling down the ramp, picking up speed towards the assembly room. You
So
see rabbits bailing from the second tank.
I assume there's some
Wait,
kind of
I wanna-
large door that the tanks are meant to be able to fit through.
Yes,
To
yes,
leave
there
the
is at
mountain
the other
from
end
here.
of the tank hallway.
Perfect. Yeah, Nash
It's
called out
open,
for
there's
someone to open.
Up direction. I want to parkour and jump onto both of the tanks to get me into the other room and out of their way.
Parkour your way out. I like it.
I am going to completely ignore my oblivious companion. They can
And
deal
all
with
of his all your goons are watching your exit.
Yeah.
They're in
That's their
constant battle
problem.
with rabbits, but yeah, it's fine.
That is their problem. I didn't know monsters were known for teamwork. And
Yep.
so finesse for jumping there, bonus -1, I guess, is how we treat shock. We'll see how that works with the roll. Or if shock is automatic. I don't know.
I don't think it's automatic.
I doubt it. Just based
Okay,
on the
then I'll
sheet.
put in a bonus. I'll put in a bonus 0 and we'll just get rid of the last dice if we have issues.
Okay.
Yeah. I was
Which
about
we
to still
do,
roll a
but-
6. You parkour
Oh,
over
okay.
it, including a spin kick that launches a rabbit across the room.
I see this beautiful thing of, okay, we get a running start. I launch off of the first tank, launch off of the second tank, like come and do a flip off of the
I'm just
top
picturing
there,
a bouncing ball of rags.
and lands by the door button.
Well, it's on the other side of the room, so like this is the back end that the assembly puts them out into, and then the other side of the room it goes into is where the like exit from the vehicle bay is.
So I'll just
But you
land
can
with
make
a
it up
flip
into
and a
the vehicle
flourish
bay.
and then take in what's happening in the room up here as I wait for, obviously, the person who caused all this problem to follow.
Yeah, there's like a stuttering tank, and like every once in a while you see Nash stick her head up and yell like, "Which way?"
Yep. More to the left.
I'll-
Your other left. That kind of stuff.
I'm gonna make this simple. I'm gonna spend stress to do Battle Master to get out of the way of the tanks. Thus go feral, and thereby go. These dang zombie dwarves are hiding all their booze from me. All the ones that I see, I'm going to kill to get their booze because my dark impulse is reckless.
Yeah, so I do think this
You're
more
not
looks.
even getting out of the way of the tanks, you're just ignoring
You're
them.
intentionally getting out of the way of tanks. You see a dwarf in the distance, run out of the way of the tanks in order to go kill that dwarf.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm using my Battle Master to get out of the way, but fictionally, it's me stressing out to go, I need the booze. They're hiding the booze from me. I need to kill them to get my booze.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
I
figure
think
out
this will
which-
eventually lead you back into the vehicle bay with everyone else, because that is like the functional goal. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
How is
smash
it
them.
reckless?
I'm literally just staying in the below part. I'm not going up until they're all cleared out.
Okay,
If
so
it's-
you're separated off from the group. There may well be more reinforcements incoming, but you're staying here.
Yes.
Nash is going to suddenly realize, like, oh, wait, do we have what we need? And she's going to just, like, in the middle of the tank, like, starting to accelerate, she's going to stop piloting it completely and start rummaging around it to make sure it has the parts we're actually looking for. And she's going to loot the tank mid-motion.
Do we want to do the roll for the Battle Master?
Yeah, I'm just gonna just a smash.
Okay.
That's a 4.
Yeah.
So mixed success on the
mixed
dwarf
success, your foot gets run over by a tank. Please take bloodied to the appropriate damage, as it's a tank.
Is it?
So all of
It's
them?
Bloodied is not
Bloodied
to
is
a
all
single
three.
damage. Bloodied is all 3. This sounds like shock.
So it is a tank, and that was reckless, so I can still believe it.
then yeah, you're bloodied. You got hit
All
by a
right.
tank. You saved the bottle.
I saved the bottle.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I
I'm down there fighting dwarves.
Yeah. If you want
For
to give me
booze.
a scan, I guess, to make sure that there's enough bits in the tank.
Yeah, she's gonna realize we might not have everything we need before we leave, so she's gonna.
I'd have assumed that if we got over there with a tank, we did.
That's an assumption, but that clock's not full, so she's
It's not.
confirming it.
This is how we fill the clock.
Yep. What's my position right now? The tank is moving and I'm not piloting it, so I'm guessing it's at least risky.
Yeah, it's some risk default.
What would the effect be?
A big part, like a lot of vehicle parts, are in fact in a vehicle. So I do think this is default with strong effect.
Strong
Because
effect.
you're in a
Okay.
vehicle to get parts to build vehicles. Like, you can just take this one apart.
Perfect. A 4 with the +1 effect added in is enough to fill the clock.
Yes. It's enough to fill the clock.
But
you do accidentally you're not going to have a full complement of rabbits on this thing anymore. Like, in your haste, you're pushing pedals wrong, and you're sending weird orders, and you're losing power as you're launching rabbits out with your bad driving.
Dude, wait, I got an amazing idea to fix this. You could just call my dwarves, and they'll take the place of the rabbits in the treads.
I don't know if they're gonna be good with that. I think that would kill them. They're not literally made of stone. Also, didn't we leave your dwarves behind, or did they come with?
Yep, they're left.
No, they're at
waiting for
they're
us.
at the exit. Yeah.
Yeah, the hole you made.
The exit that we're probably no longer taking anymore.
Nope,
I
not
might
that
take it.
one.
You might take it. Okay. Well, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think really now this was a smash and grab, right? That was the goal
Yeah.
of this mission.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So really, we just need someone to go open the door.
Yeah. Open the new main exit door, and I have an idea for a side effect on a 4 to 5, which is we also trigger all of the other tanks to go forth onto the world by opening the door. We trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the other tanks are moving. Like the room, the chaos has ensued.
Perfect.
The rabbits have deemed that it's unsafe to leave the hares. I gotta keep that straight. I've assumed it's unsafe to leave their tanks where they are. They're clearly getting damaged.
That's true.
And their job is to keep their tank in good working order for war, because I don't know, that's why you build tanks.
My
So
idea
as
is
you
when
go
for a
the
4 to
door,
5 when
the
the door
others are
opens, my
following
idea
behind.
is that war
The-
becomes declared when the door opens.
Well, hang on a second. I haven't been doing anything while this tank's been rolling around. Are the other rabbits going to try to drive these tanks?
Oh, they're trying to save their tanks.
So they're like
Oh, okay.
backing up
Well,
away
no,
from
they're
the
not.
driving tanks.
Defense
they're not?
against enemy movement. They're not getting anywhere. I'm going after these
Oh.
rabbits.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
Just locking all of
anti-personnel
their
chain
shreds.
wielder.
Yep. I think in this instance, let's just. I mean, I've got them. I pull the sack from my belt, throw it up into the air as about 100 ball bearings spring out and just decimate the room.
That does seem like a tier 2 spell to kill a whole tank battalion of stone hares.
Yes.
Well,
At
lock and
least.
play,
I would
think.
actually argue that's tier 3 if you want to do it in one action.
Yeah.
Tier 2 would be partially filling a clock to do that.
I mean, tier 2 is moving earth to make a bridge is one of the examples.
Yeah, but the bridge isn't trying to kill you.
To be fair, neither are the tanks. I just meant that they're very tough. It is up to Indigo, though.
Tank drivers in a... I don't know enough about war.
What about tank drivers? What?
All right, so
You're standing around
there's about
just
1,000 personnel in a tank battalion.
1 ball bearing per each one. Usually it's 1,000 ball bearings in a
How
bag
many
of them.
ball bearings you got?
And it's a sack of ball bearings. Like
The
it's
D&D sack size is
How
1,000.
many
So
ball bearings in a sack?
It's 1,000. All right, this feels
Sure.
too. We did the math. Math checks. If you had to
So you
reuse
think
the
we
ball
should have
bearings
already,
and we
like,
clock.
all right.
what was your question,
so
Marissa?
Are you trying to shoot a ball bearing to like deactivate every rabbit?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking it as every hair tank driver because there is
Yes,
a
yes.
nigh infinite
That's-
swarm of the fodder rabbits.
Yeah.
No, I'm going for the officers because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't follow the rules of engagement.
Future hairs are gonna be like, "Don't salute me! You're gonna get ball bearing."
All right. So is this tier 2 or tier 3? Because that affects the dice.
It's tier 2. We checked. It's
Tier 2.
It
one
is
bag, one battalion.
literally 1 single ball bearing short of tier 3. Or
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a single ball bearing through the center of each of their heads.
Okay.
So this is like a Mines of
man,
Moria
I can really-
size, like, tank hull.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a self-powering army.
Perfect.
What is my position?
Position. We're
Now,
gonna say
fair distance away from them. So
Yeah, I would say directly you're not in too much risk.
Yeah, directly I say you're at default, but the missions at dire, because like failure to do this would activate if just like 3 of them make it to the tank. There is penalties for when they
Yeah.
shoot rabbits at you. So from that logic, if you don't get them all, one of them still gets a tank.
So
That's
I guess
fair.
middling.
So
Effect.
dire effect. But
Yeah.
strong results. Because if you take out a battalion, you take out a battalion. That's a lot to repair.
Yeah, they can build rabbits more easily, but we haven't seen them easily build hares.
You have not found
Right.
the hair facility. No.
It's a bit hairy.
all right. Screw it. Overload. I can cheese this. Overload, and with my that's 2 minus 1. That's 4. Well, that's way more than I hit 4, not.
Oh, 4. I did 4 bonus.
Plus
Yeah,
4
so it's-
dice. So
yeah.
it
So
should
it's
be
the
4
third
It
dice.
should
die?
be a 5 as the
Ignore
top.
the last.
5 is the top.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what mix looks like here. I really don't.
I think that at least one
Because
rabbit.
you achieve the
probably does
result,
get-
right, of eliminating.
Yeah. Could be that.
This might be where some of our faction clocks come in. Of
Yeah.
like, we
This will
do it,
play into the
but
Fallout.
we have like there might be some future badness that we have visited upon
Yeah.
ourselves.
So yeah, no, you take out all of the hair officers. Everyone in the vehicle bay, I'm assuming, gets into the tank to drive out the front door.
Oh no, I want to rifle the pockets of all the hairs that I've taken out. And yes, I know there is no rifle pockets, but hey, we're looking for parts and I want loot, so I'm going to.
They have
smash-
lockers. We established
yeah.
lockers.
I want to just smash off parts of them and collect some arms and legs and
Oh,
secrete them onto the.
That's what you mean by
you're
parts.
You're just taking parts of the hairs. Cool. All right. Yeah. No, you can give me a smash for an additional loot.
Just have like
Everyone
a bunch
give
of
you one more
arms
thing
under
as
your
we
arm.
wrap up this raid.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back the way we came in because that was the plan. And on my way out, I'm just scanning for more booze.
All right.
I only
so
care about the booze.
Give me a smash to see if you get your bonus loot die.
Mixed. So yes, bonus loot die, but also something worse.
Well, the problem is shock doesn't do much at this point
We
because
could
it's
go
gonna.
with the previous mixed success of whatever bad thing happens. It is now worse.
Yeah, well,
What are you using to smash their arms off? Because you only have a knife,
forgot.
right?
We've established a mining pick. I think that'll
Mm.
probably work.
So it might just be the
Yeah.
mining pick breaks partway through, or something like that. Like you don't get to bring it back with you.
Oh, okay.
That,
Though it wasn't supply, so supply is all. Kick off
Supply
a
is meant to be sort of more narratively added and removed from. So this would be
Yeah.
you can't add
So
it to your
tick off-
supply.
So tick off a use of supply, or
I was gonna say you just can't add it to your supply if you
you
wouldn't bring the
gotta
mining
go
pick back with
acquire
you.
more mining equipment after this.
that's brutal because that's like a full downtime action for the thing, isn't it?
Getting supply?
Or you could
Or getting a
intentionally loot it from another place, like
Okay,
Yeah.
just
fair
some
enough.
narrative onus to repair your mining equipment.
No more mining pick. Goodbye. So I wail on a couple of arms until the thing just
Yeah, you
suddenly
get like a
snaps.
bundle of arms under your arms. That heads are
Waddling
destroyed.
towards the tank.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Alright, that's that loot. The drunk.
Yep, I am bloodied. I'm stressed out. I'm just like John Wick limping through the place we just walked, like cleared out, like looking for booze, grumbling, like where's the booze? I need the booze. Using my dark heart. A 4.
4. You're looking for the booze. Honestly, I don't have anything bad that happens to you. You have the booze. Like,
One of your dwarves wander off in the meantime?
like they could be bloody because I take so long.
yeah, the
That
dwarves
makes
are.
sense.
That's actually the best one. You finish gathering all the materials, and you come back, and the dwarves are still fighting swarms of the like smaller rabbits,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they are they're the dwarves have taken some beatings. They are very badly wounded.
Got it. All right. Yeah, and then we exit out the tunnel. We fight and
Yeah.
retreat if we need
Is
to.
anyone else doing any last minute?
Nash isn't
things
taking
in
an
the
action.
dungeon?
She's maniacally laughing and like she's trying to run over as many of the small rabbits running away from her as she can without getting too far out of her way. As she drives the tank out, she's just like, "Yes, how does it feel to be crushed under me instead?" And she's just like going mad with power, basically, but not specifically doing anything other than enjoying the moment.
Cool. Varn, do you have any last
mean,
actions in this dungeon?
Yeah, I think I do have one. I mean, we didn't destroy the other tanks.
No, you did not. There's still
You're
a
gonna
lot of
grab
tanks
another
in
tank?
this room.
I'm gonna grab another tank, but I think what I'm gonna do is just haul it out of here magically using my chains. I'm gonna tow a tank.
You're gonna tow a tank.
I still love that we haven't bothered to open the door yet.
You can. There's a tank with a rabbit cannon. I'm assuming that's the key to opening this door.
Yep.
Shoot a rabbit at the button and it opens.
Yeah.
I was just thinking a lot of rabbits to bust through the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we got through
I
the
don't
first
think,
door.
based on
I'll
how
go
it's
better.
being presented, I don't think the door is a real obstacle.
No.
Fair enough.
Well, you've taken out the real obstacle, which is the battalion of hares.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, give me a roll to forcibly drag a tank out of this room. If you succeed, I don't know, you have 2 tanks.
tanks.
Yeah.
So I get another loot die?
Yeah, you get a bonus loot die for your arms.
Do I get a bonus
no,
loot
I'm
die for my
saying we have-
booze?
Straight roll.
Yeah, you did make a roll with a mixed success on that.
And what were you saying, Marissa?
Ooh, oh, that goes
Mm.
badly.
I was saying that you would get an extra loot die for a success on the tank. However, it's not really
That's
applicable.
fair.
No.
I like to think your chains wrap around the tank and just crumbles as you try and drag it.
Yeah, you destroy
And
it.
pull it apart. Or, yeah.
Yeah, the front fender just comes off or something like that.
No, I pull it off the chassis, like just
Yeah.
break the
Yeah.
treads.
I think an arm just reaches in, picks up the fender, sticks it into the cloak, keeps moving.
Yeah. All right. I think this is a good point to take a break, and
Yep.
we come back, we'll see the results of our dungeon raid.
We'll be back in 10-15
Yeah.
minutes to pick up the pieces from whatever this was.
Yes, there are consequences because you have
All
revealed
according to plan.
You've revealed the rabbit army to the world.
We have. Yep. So all
They
of
shall go
the
forth and
forums are like,
propagate.
hey, did you guys discover this new raid?
Are these rabbits like the equivalent of unleashing nanobots because they just go build more of themselves because
Only
rabbits
the
just
dwarves build more
multiply?
rabbits. The rabbits don't build more rabbits. So I
The
think it's
rabbits don't build
relatively
themselves.
contained.
Okay.
My only idea for what the spirit of industry does, each of their locations is somehow golem related.
Perfect.
Like the spirits of industry build golems in the lake.
Excellent.
The one you took over was the Atomic
soulless
Emperor and
automatons
the
that build
lavas.
soulless automatons.
We may
Yes.
have tiered up the entire faction without actually meaning to.
We'll see what happens.
I feel like
don't
we
know.
set them back
I
significantly.
feel like,
honestly.
yeah, this was probably like years of work building this battalion.
Yeah.
Okay.
You try building tanks with mindless automatons. Like it's
Not
really
very
hard.
easy.
It's a lot of
Especially
work.
when you have to build intelligence into the automatons the mindless ones build.
Yeah. Poor rabbits. But we'll see what happens when we are back from our break, which will be about 10, sometimes 15 minutes long.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, that was strange with the music, but either way, we are back. Volume sliders on music are weird right now with this player. But we are back with part 2 of episode 4 of Wicked Ones Online. So,
Yeah.
we arrive back at our dungeon suite dungeon.
Yeah, I'm trying to find double check the cycle here.
Sure.
I
think we have to go over how our raid went, basically.
Yeah. So it's the blowback is the next.
Yep.
Right?
That makes sense.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. So
depending on how well we stuck to the raid plan.
how well you stuck to the plan. It was supposed to be a
We went
smash
a
and-
little awry, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I would also agree with 2 dice. We did eventually get back on track and smashed and grabbed.
You did smash, you did grab, you
We didn't do it in the perfect team, so it wasn't perfect, but it didn't feel like it went so off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't feel like it went so off the rails, but it is 1 die because it's 2 before we count the failure. That involves revealing this is not about the spirit of industry. It's about revealing the automaton rabbit army to the world.
That might
Even if they
Yeah.
even if they can't drive their tanks, you have stirred the stone warrens, if you will, and there will be a plague upon somewhere of just swarms of these little
is now
glowy
a plague
purple
upon
rabbits.
There is a new random encounter, and it could happen at any time, anywhere.
Yeah. The unintended consequences. The intended consequences also cause problems. If that sounds reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. I found it. Yeah, strike. There it is. Yeah, we got caught up in other endeavors. That's true.
So, 1 roll. Who wants it?
I'll do it. I was the first one to get distracted, and I also offered the
And
first
it's kind of your
compel.
fault.
You derailed everything.
Nash will
Blame you.
never accept blame. A 6. Or 5. A 5 on a d6.
That's not bad.
A 5 puts us at
Minor blowback.
Mixed.
minor blowback.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, that's out. Never mind. I take it back.
Oh, is there a table? Random blowback.
Oh, yes.
There is.
You roll
It's
a d6
on
for the type
page
of blowback,
270.
and then you roll, I don't know how many. I think it's 2 more d6 for the specifics of the blowback. It could be
Yeah,
one.
it's 2d6, but it's like 11 through 16 and you know,
Yeah.
It's a
it's
D66.
D66. Yeah.
It's my favorite die combo. We're rolling a D66 because I don't feel like this triggers a specific invasion.
No, the spirits of industry are the least likely to invade.
Yeah,
Faction.
if it was a different faction, this would lead to an invasion, but instead they're just bothering the world.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, I see. You're looking at a different table than me. Okay.
Who else wants to roll a minor blowback?
I'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
D66. Oh, 2D6. 46 or 64. We did this before.
46 is what? That doesn't make any sense.
So
64.
well, 46. Wait, hold on. Is my 46 different than your guys' 46? Because mine is about dogs barking.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's mine too.
Okay, and then 64 is.
So basically, this is all stuff that like happens on the way home.
I think this is
Oh,
us.
it's on the way to the next mission?
I think it's supposed to be on the way home.
Yeah, it's on
Yes.
the way home.
Yeah.
It usually tinges the last raid with bitterness. It probably is why we're going over the plan, because in character we're arguing about how it went. I'm sure that's fine.
It's
Mhm.
just that 46 and 64 are both like, these feel like things that would apply at the beginning of a dungeon.
No,
Yeah.
I
No, I
mean,
think we can get this on our way
Yeah.
back to our dungeon.
I think I figured it out. So yeah, the first thing that happens is we get. Let me move us to the factions chunk. There's a tick on the Spirit of Industries clock to spread the spirit, even though they aren't really taking extreme action. The existence of their creations in the world
Yeah,
inevitably spreads the spirit of industry.
because adventurers going to come loot. They're going to take loot. The loot will inevitably spread to any NPCs the looter later sold to.
Yep.
Yeah, and if they just happen to have done the exact same thing their entire lives, their corpse will continue. But like, if they didn't do the same thing their whole life, it doesn't have the same. Dwarves are particularly
Easy to infect.
susceptible to this condition.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
yeah, you get a tick on the spirit of industry. And I do think you do it, like the book claims, you do hear the sounds of dogs barking.
As we're trekking, as we're heading back to our dungeon.
Yeah, as you're heading back, rolling in the tank, like I feel like everyone's just kind of sitting on top of it at this point,
Except
while
for
someone's in the
Matt
like
and
driver's
I.
seat pushing the pedals, and everyone else is acting as eyes. That makes
Yeah.
sense to yeah. And we just see you like rolling through pastoral medieval fields, and like you
Yeah,
see
just
villagers
there's a
screaming and
trail of crushed wheat and corn.
yeah. And you see like lizard folk farmers like screaming and throwing rocks that are just pinging off the back of the tank, and then you hear the sound of dogs.
ooh, are these like little Drake dogs?
You don't see the dogs.
Oh,
No, but
okay.
like a lizard folks version of a dog, I think was Zen's suggestion.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was the cuckoos.
Oh, like
Oh.
making dog noises.
Yes.
Arf,
Yes.
arf, arf.
There are- You start hearing from the sides and all around you as a 4-segment clock appears randomly for quarters.
So are we in the middle of a wheat field and hearing barks?
Yes.
Oh,
You've been
I throw a
ambushed.
torch in the wheat field.
Excellent.
Are these literal children of the Cobra, or like?
They're playing.
Yeah,
they're
they are.
PCs. They're playing a
Okay.
video game, so
They're
they'll,
Yeah,
they'll,
they're
playing a
they'll
video game.
respawn.
PCs, they may
Yeah,
have
it's-
created children avatars.
That's fair.
Or
Yeah, I'm gonna-
we can go with they are children players and created adult avatars, whichever is less problematic.
Either
I-
way,
Second one is
you
problematic purely because of the chat.
Yes.
Either way, what you do hear is adventurers making barking sounds, like making dog sounds at you from the wheat from all sides, and farmers harry you from the back. There is a 4-part clock for cornered.
I
Nash
love
yells
the
from the
Cartoon
tank,
Network
I don't
and
speak light, but I don't think that's what they sound like.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a torch into the wheat field, and we're gonna still just go through with our tank because it's made of stone. It's not gonna burn.
I
We're
don't
just gonna
think we're
I need a-
literally fast enough to get away from them. I don't.
No, it's
no.
this is a
but the
rabbit.
fire.
This is a
Yeah,
rabbit powered
I like
tank.
the idea of fire. Let's do fire.
Oh yeah, but so give me a position and effect, right? It's a
Hmm.
little action scene to get away from this challenge. It's like an upside down clock, really. So I guess 4 to get away seems fair.
Sure.
I think so.
If it's
For
4
a
to
minor
get,
blowback, I think that's acceptable.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
4 to get cornered, 4 to get away. Normal effect because they could have spells and arrows to sling at you,
Hmm.
and even if you're in a tank, acid still burns.
It's true. Do we want to like team up, roll this?
Yeah, right now it's normal
You have
effect.
to be assist in this case.
I will assist by spinning the chain and fanning the flames, giving you greater effect on the burn.
This feels like mostly targeted at the farmers, but sure.
Depends how
like,
much
yes,
the-
it'll hurt the PCs, but like the real damage.
I would say this is less
going
effects
to...
then, because I don't think the Children of the Cuckoo are particularly benevolent adventurers.
No, but they're in the wheat.
Yeah, if they're in
That's
the
why.
wheat,
That's
I'm
why I say
voting
less
yes.
effects, not none.
I mean, they're not getting up
fire
close enough
burns.
melee, so
What kind of roll would this be? Because
You gotta pick it. Right now it sounds like Tinker. You are
Yeah, I think
creatively
so.
handling the harrying.
Yep.
what if I don't have that?
That
You
sucks
could learn
to
it.
suck.
You roll. You start learning it.
All right, I'll start learning Tinker at a -1 die because my brains hurt.
Oh, then you have to
Okay,
use a
so-
dark heart to even tinker. I think is what we've established.
I don't have
Yeah.
any dark hearts.
Can't tinker.
All right,
You can
I'm
smash
threatening
it
them.
into... You're threatening. Okay.
That's fair,
you could
actually.
argue finesse for
I don't
like,
have
getting
finesse either.
Oh, okay.
But do you have shock to your muscles?
I do.
yes, bloodied.
Oh,
He's bloody. He's got
Oh,
shock
he's
everywhere.
bloodied.
I got shock everywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just hucking. I'm throwing torches like there's no one's business.
I think threaten works. It's just
Threaten
more a
works.
matter of
You know,
more than
were
the
you
fire
getting
itself.
them to
it's
back
the
off.
threat of- yeah.
you weren't bloody. You were bloodied on your last scan roll, so you're not shocked to brains anymore.
No,
Oh.
bloodied has to be
Bloody doesn't
cleared
go away
separately.
until you
The
clear
shock
all-
from bloody
Right, but the shock goes away.
Yeah, the
does
shock
go
goes
away
away.
still. But the
Oh,
bloody
heard,
condition
yeah.
is separate. It's just that when you
bloody
get bloodied,
condition,
yeah.
yeah, means you have to clear all 3 before that can go away.
but you do still
Got
clear
it.
them. So that means you can tinker if you want to with 0 dice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Might as well start learning it. See what happens. Boop. 2.
Worst result, yeah.
The 2 or the 2? Hold on. Now we can see the
So
roll.
you're at 1 of 4 on getting cornered. Or is it 1 tick for failure?
Failure 0.
Oh, I mean opposite ticks.
Oh, getting cornered.
Then
That
that's up to
depends
you.
on the position usually. Our position doesn't seem
Our
too
position's
bad
still-
right now. We're still in
Yeah,
our
let's
tank.
call it 1 for normal. Yeah.
So
And it'll increase if there's a worse position. But so that's one consequence is a tick on the getting cornered.
Mm.
And another consequence is the farmers have upped their assault from a mild nuisance to now there's pitchforks getting raised
Oh no.
and such, because you are in fact burning the wheat fields that they feed their little lizard children with.
Perfect.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
I think Blank looks at where he could take cover in the tank, except Nash is in there, decides to absolutely not, hops off the tank, and starts shooting.
Who are you
Yeah,
shooting?
anyone
The civilians or the?
Whoever
we can
is
hear
closest-
the children, but I think they're Robin Hooding us right now, or they're like
Yeah.
stealth signaling.
Whoever is moving closest, or I can see.
So farmers
So
who
that's
are
the
now
farmers,
getting
and-
more accurate, just shooting down the farmers. After their fields burn. Cool. They're only here because you're rolling through their fields.
They're making us cornered.
They shouldn't have planted fields in our way.
Really, this is their fault.
Alright, give me a murder roll.
Murder.
Yeah, the farmers upping their assault puts this in a more risky action, so it's
Fair.
no longer default. But farmers are particularly weak to arrows, so I do think you're gonna be effective.
I hear they're
So
also
it's
not great
strong,
with
but
bullets or
also
swords.
very risky. Strong, but
No,
like
it's-
dire position.
Dire and default, because the intended result is to shoot down the farmers, which seems like perfectly valid and like
Okay.
acceptable for you.
Why is it more? Yeah, never mind.
Do we want to start a clock to escape if, we ever
Yeah,
make...
it's 4 to escape, 4 to stay.
Oh,
I just
okay.
didn't make the physical clock. You're at 1 on day 6, so that's 2. You're halfway to escaping as you just shoot down the farmers one by one. They're not soldiers. They aren't prepared for this. They just begin to fall like the wheat you're burning.
Is there a plow, perhaps,
We're
near
great
these
mates.
farmers' fields?
You're in the middle of the field. The wheat's in the field, so it's not plow season. That's back at their house. There might be loose scythes, though.
They just abandoned their size of wheels. Or those
Yeah.
pitchforks which they dropped.
No,
Pitchforks
All
are
There's
right, then-
pitchforks and scythes, so there are
Sweet.
sharp metal
So,
implements
yes.
for you to throw at people.
I shall create a threshing cloud of farm implements.
Perfect.
With
And
the-
just send it through the fields.
Just a blade storm.
Yes.
So you're attempting to take out the children of the Cobra ceremonies.
Yep. While we were going to leave ambiguous every description, they're just going to be in the fields. We won't see them. We might hear them scream.
Yeah,
They're just screaming because they're running. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all we hear.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone put they do vicious pranks. Okay.
I did.
There was-
I did put they do vicious pranks.
I think I'm going to run into the field to go hard,
So that puts you at
upping my effect.
dire great.
Sweet. Give me a bonus. No, actually, it's just a straight roll because I don't have any dark hearts. Okay. That's a 6.
That's a 6.
I would also like to point out that maxes my stress.
Which is cruel.
Yes.
Are you gonna spend?
So
I have an idea, but yeah.
anytime there's a scream coming from the field, the blades just tear up that part real quick and then move on.
Yeah, you have successfully taken out this advanced party of the children of the Cobra of ceremonies. And now all that's left in this burned field is your group in the tank. There is no wheat. There are no farmers. There are no guild members barking.
I think we just shrug and continue on. Well, that was interesting. And
Their families can console themselves that I fertilized their field.
Nash's head finally pops out of the tank and is like, "What'd I miss? Oh, we're at a farm." She puts on her farmer's hat that magically keeps out the
No,
sun,
a farmer drives the tank.
keeps off the sun, and then pops back down into the tank and keeps driving.
Let's go home.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I'm so glad that we kept rolling 6s through the blowback.
Yep. Just narratively, what we did to that blowback is what we did mechanically as well. Just drove right through it and kept
You're just
on going.
massacring through every obstacle I come up with.
That's what
bad
we-
guys do.
Absolute
Yeah.
brutality.
It does say for blowback, the minor blowback is, let me see here. Is an inconvenience, but one that you're likely equipped to ignore or handle.
Yeah,
and we
no, this
handle it.
was perfectly acceptable to me and appropriate.
yeah, It might have
Alright.
gone badly had we not rolled sixes, but we were
Yeah.
lucky, and there we go.
So after blowback, we cycle back to the top of the play cycle, and we count the loot.
We do.
Loot.
So
Is recovery first?
Loot.
Yes.
We recover our
Recover
our
and then loot.
sanity and stress and stuff. Yeah.
where is recovery?
Above counting loot. At the beginning of the lurking phase, you clear all stress
Yes.
and the bloody.
Yes, you're right, it is. I missed. I was looking right at it.
Yeah.
Clear all stress, shock, and the bloodied condition.
Yeah.
Any abilities, defense, or rooms, or gear that are unusable or usable once per rest cycle are ticked back up.
Perfect.
Then we check. Do we have any empty layers in our dungeon? So I guess we should switch to the dungeon.
Right.
We don't.
We do not have any empty layers. Our only lair at all is our lava snake lair.
Yep.
Okay. Counting loot. Each player makes a loot roll based on our total loot, which is not on that page, if I remember correctly, but it is in the rules reference. Loot rolls.
Roll a number of dice equal to the amount of loot you hauled in from your last raid. Each die rolled gives you something based on its result.
So how much loot did we get?
So there was one loot, but I don't think that the parts actually count as loot, and we didn't fight any adventurers. So it
Yeah.
might-
0 dice
I think it's
base.
1, and then
plus-
there's some.
Yeah, I have the questions here. Did the target belong to a faction of at least equal to the dungeon tier? Yes.
Yes.
They're higher than us.
Okay.
So that's,
that's a
we
loot.
started at 0 dice, sorry, and then we got +1 for each of those. So we are at 1. For each tier they're above. So it's just if we're tier 0 and the we're at tier 2, it's just giving us option for extra dice. They're tier 1, right? So
Yeah.
it's still just 1 die. Each source of good loot you grabbed.
one, I guess. That's probably what I was doing.
I think
I
I'm
grabbed
not sure.
booze.
Because these
Those
are
are-
individual, I feel like everyone's going to have a separate count here.
I think so.
Everyone is gonna have a separate count. So
Okay.
booze and arms count as good sources of loot for those that grabbed them.
Okay.
And each adventurer taken out. And I wish we could count the children of the Cobra of Ceremonies there.
I'm gonna give you 1 for the
Combined
children.
forces.
Yeah, combined you get 1 for the children of the Cobra ceremonies.
Who get
Okay.
Varn would get it if it was just for one person.
Is it just 1, or do we all get 1?
I mean, I took out the farmers in that case.
The farmers aren't adventurers though.
Yeah, they're not adventurers. But I do think at least Varn gets it. I
Okay.
mean, that can be a group call, but at least someone gets a die for the collective of them.
Given that they weren't an adventure, I'm
I'd
going
give it to Varn because they
Yeah.
weren't as difficult, and there probably wasn't much loot left after Varn was done with. them.
No, no, there
Fair.
wasn't. All of their fighter
back
was
with-
shredded.
I was just trading farm implements back along the way and got some loot.
Okay, I will roll first because I have 1 die, so I will get it over with. Fortune roll, 1 die, a 5, which for
It is a
loot,
mixed result. 1 gold or spend it on revelry instead.
Why do I need? Oh, spend on revelry is if you have too much gold. It happens.
We're reading revelry right now to see if anything.
When you engage in
pops.
revelry, you gain a dark heart when you do revelry. Okay.
Yep.
I will get the gold instead. That's all for me.
Okay. I'll go next.
Yeah.
This is the one time I will actually not overdo it because I have no dark hearts. So even if I roll 2 1s, I just get 2 dark hearts. Okay, I got a 4 or a 3, so I get a 1 dark heart, and then I'm gonna take a gold.
Cool.
All right. I've got this queued up, so 2 failures. Apparently, had to happen at some point. So 2 failures is dark heart or give morale. They have morale, so just 2 dark hearts then. Dread it.
All right. And bam.
A
Nice.
6. Ooh, get something. The player
Mundane or
chooses.
valuable item from the loot. The player
Yeah, what
chooses what
cool
it
thing
is.
did you find in the theme of the rabbit dungeon?
In the theme of the rabbit dungeon.
I mean,
There's-
something you could have got from there.
We do have the bunzuka. I think the tank.
Bunzuka.
The hares had them, and you were in one of
Yeah,
the other tanks.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Bunzuka. I think that's...
Yeah, you have a bazooka. You can. There's a like you do. The tank came with some rabbit golems.
Yep. Perfect. And a dark heart.
And a dark heart, which is always good. Okay,
This loot
cool.
roll went way better than last time.
Yeah.
It did.
It did.
All right. And now it's time for the rest of lurking, which is downtime, I
Yeah.
believe.
So, no one spent red money on revelry, so we don't need to worry about that.
Oh, I should say, valuable. So a valuable item is a map, or is a item with an edge, or something along those lines. So this Bunzuka needs an edge. I'll figure that out.
Okay. Quick question for you, Indigo. Now that we have the parts, do we need anything else to finish our vehicle bay? Or is that, like, does it still cost a downtime action to finish? It has been built, so and I don't think the book is clear on what is needed left. I think it's
Oh,
just...
you're gonna have
Starting
I'm gonna call it that you gotta clear it out.
Yeah, we need to get rid of the moss.
Get rid of the moss?
That makes sense.
Like,
Okay.
it's not currently a usable vehicle bay. You have the parts, you have the room built, because the dungeon came with it built. You had to do a raid to finish it, which you did, but there is an obstacle in your way that is the carnivorous moss that you need to address
Okay.
before completing it.
When would we do such a thing?
It's a downtime
I could-
project.
Yeah, we can...
Just the one roll.
It's just called a downtime. Okay.
Well, I have an idea for that. If we want to, for the first downtime action, I'm going to harvest the carnivorous moss, transplant it into the entrance here, and turn it into a trap for whoever is foolhardy enough to land in the landing to our dungeon. Will land on carnivorous moss. Does that work for everyone?
where are you putting it?
Like right before the bridge when you first enter. I figured it could be a good, like, it's the floor now play thing.
So, like here? Oh,
The only question I'd have is if it's not in a dungeon room technically,
I
can you place it there?
I think it becomes a dungeon room at that point.
Yeah.
figured it's just an empty. It is still a part of the dungeon. It's just not a like
Okay.
named room.
But one thing I would tend to say is because it feels like to just clear it out is a single roll success roll, but to
Yeah.
move it and transplant it might be a 4 o'clock.
Well, I was just
So
gonna
it's-
make a trap. That's
it's-
action wise. That's what I want to do is make the trap
Yeah.
of the carnivorous moss.
It can be done in one project. It is a tier 1 project to just eliminate the carnivorous moss from the room. It is a tier 2 project to build a tier 1 trap.
Using
the
the
moss.
carnivorous moss. That
Yeah,
works for
it's
me.
+1 to the trap tier
Yeah.
because you have to move the moss.
If that works for everyone else, that works for me.
Okay, so 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. We have clocks. We can add clocks too, right? I'm sure we can add
Yep.
clocks.
Yes,
There
is
on the
a clock
token
map.
thing and a clock map.
Right.
Yeah, and just plop the clock down where you're going to set your trap, and when the clock's full, you can fill it out.
Well, I'll start by doing that. Red sounds better for traps, so we'll go with red. Red
Where are
is
you
in fact
finding
dead. A different page of the like it's an actual different page in Roll20.
Thank you.
So let's build a trap. I don't think we're feasibly going to finish our workshop this downtime. If we even start to build it, we just talked about it. So I don't think I'm going to wait. but I am going to use my +1 from our dungeon feature on
Here's the
this
thing:
downtime.
if we start the workshop, the minions can finish it.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
You can't
Because otherwise they're
finish
gonna build
a room
another
like that.
bathroom.
There's a special requirement for rooms, though.
For
They
tier
need
3
something.
rooms.
Yeah, the workshop you gotta do a thing specifically to. Like with the vehicle bay. You do a raid
Oh.
It was
specifically
built,
to
but then we do something for it. Okay, then we
Yeah.
definitely aren't. Okay, then I'll just focus on the trap. I'm gonna tinker with it to try and safely move the moss over and make sure it's being cared for. I'm going to invoke my +1 from, because I think it was +1 for each player is what we decided on, but only once per downtime.
Yes, it's for each
Mhm.
player.
I want to make sure this is done, so let's see how this works. And that's everything. That's a 6. So I think that's 2 ticks on the clock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I just read the second sentence of this, or the third sentence of the power source now. If you don't use your die during downtime projects, you can use your die during dungeon defense on a single lock, trap, or trick on your
Oh.
list of dungeon duties.
Oh, well,
So
that's
you could
useful.
use it to empower one of your dungeon duties.
Nice.
Or
That's very
mechanical
useful.
empowerment, not a monster lair.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's both. During downtime, you can take +1d on a single downtime action,
Oh,
and
it's
during
both.
defense, you
Oh,
can take +1d on a
Okay.
we gotta do an invasion soon. I'm probably gonna make that happen with one of the future
Well, that's
things
my
here to
downtime action.
try out and infuse. Yeah, cool.
Who else is going
Who's
next?
next for downtime actions? The options are limitless, and I understand.
All right. Well, I am also going to start a clock, which I will figure out how to work with later. But basically, you see Blank heading back to the sanctum and heading back to his room in it, and just kind of unpacking the arms outside before bringing them back inside. And he is going to lay them out on the floor and try and again recreate to his best attempt another lagomorph automaton. We are continuing to try to animate an automaton with hatred towards man. Slowly but surely. Apparently, I don't give up on ideas once I get them.
Yeah, so you're trying to build a many-armed hair to enact
I
vengeance.
have the parts. I figure if you bash them together enough, I still have 0 dice in Tinker. So my idea currently is I'll just keep hitting them together until they stick, and that's how tinkering works, right? You take a hammer, you hit things. If they hit, they stick together, right?
I do think there's evil for this.
There's what for this?
Evil. Dark arts.
Oh, you do have to actually be able to feasibly explain how it might work.
Basically, I'm assuming that to actually make this happen, it's going to be a long-term project. For this first attempt, I'm just trying to create a chassis, kind of.
So that sounds like that's the first step of a larger project. It sounds like you're trying to make a contraption, which is basically any ongoing device. A clockwork golem is actually an example contraption. It is, I believe, tier 3. Let me check.
That's what I kind of figured it would be.
Yep, Clockwork Servant, tier
Servant.
3,
So,
can do... Oh, perfect. It's not going to be clockwork, it's going to
Yeah.
be a multi-armed hair, if you get it right. And it can do one specific task.
Yep. And all contraptions have a downside.
Is it going to be kill?
I think it's going to be stock at this point.
The clockwork, the book one, that's actual clockwork,
Stock.
the downside is it rusts easily.
Just every single time you turn around, there will be a hair there watching.
So, Could the downside be
reporting back.
easily noticeable then? It consistently stalks, but easily noticeable.
Yes. This makes sense.
Okay. Write
Yeah.
that down. You are now
So it's
making
a-
your...
What is that? A 6-part clock for tier 3?
Tier 3 is 8-part, actually.
Tier 3
It's a lot.
Oh,
I
8-part
think it's
clock.
just 4s and 8s are the more common ones in this. I think 6s are you sometimes, but 4s and 8s are the most common ones.
Yeah. So you begin a 8 clock downtime action to assemble your ominous stalker.
I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point.
Cool.
So
Horrifying.
I will use my +1 die on that for some reason, given I have 0 dice. And I'm also going to pump 1 dark card into it.
More evil you're just pouring into this creation.
This is going to be the one rabbit rule them all.
It's not coming with skill, it's coming with evil ambition.
So
Well,
yeah,
it's mixed, so that's 1 tick at least.
yeah, it's a tick. One is. I think it tires out your little weak brain. Who's
Shock
not
the brains?
used. Yeah.
That makes
This is-
absolute
I
sense.
don't
You-
believe on a downtime action there's a downside like there is on adventure. I think it's
Yeah,
just
let's
Oh.
check. If
costs.
there's
Yeah.
not,
down.
then it's fine.
Yeah,
That's
because
fine.
you're always assumed to have the
Downtime
least
second.
risky position.
Oh yeah, then nothing. Yeah, you get 1 tick.
And I will figure out how to do clocks as we continue.
Okay. Perfect. Who's next?
Yeah, who's next? For
I want to upgrade my tier 1 bunkhouse to be a tier 2 place for my guys to hang out.
I don't know if upgrading is a thing in the game.
Can I just replace the room in that case?
Yeah. it would be a tier 2 project to
Yeah.
To build a tier 2 room, build a new
Yeah.
room, and then the old room we'll renovate it. With
Oh,
something
actually,
else.
I mean,
Bunk
it's
actually-
more productive to add another room.
Yeah, building
and
a
that-
tier 2 room is a tier 2 project, so I would just go build a new room. I think it's by design. The game wants is like, building a room is meant to be better than replacing an
agree.
existing
But
room,
if
'cause
you want to
wants
keep it
us
in the
to
same
just-
place, you're gonna have to gut the room. So
right. I think I just keep the room then, because we have to do the whole like lower tier monsters get attacked first.
lower
and
tier
then it goes
into
to higher
higher
tier.
tier, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If they see the stairs, they just go to the stairs, right?
The adventurers?
Yeah.
Not inherently, I think.
The only difference is if they see a creature room, because they will always detour into a creature room.
We have a lock on the stairs, if you remember.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
this black dot rectangle is.
got it.
I'm gonna.
You know what? I'm gonna do like a room right next to the Dwarven stockpile. That's where their bar is gonna be, which is just their minion chamber.
Perfect.
Okay. What size clock is that again?
4 o'clock for a tier 2 project.
Yeah.
Got it. 4 o'clock, yellow.
Yeah. Tier 2 rooms and structures, they usually have a thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I give it 2 atmospheric traits when it's done.
2 atmospheric traits, and I'm assuming it's gonna get +1d if your dwarves defend their bar.
Yeah, isn't it? They get
It's like the minion
plus
layer
1d when
one.
defending the room against invaders, and they
Yeah.
get morale each recovery.
Yep.
Yeah. So if they try to break into the dwarf bar, they're just gonna get beat down by the
Yeah, the
patrons.
hooligans.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna go smash it in here. I just gotta break down some walls.
Yeah, that's it. No finery.
No.
Just punch a hole.
Just smash. All right, boop. A 4.
4. Yeah. Nice.
So just 1.
Yep, 1 tick. And I think you can pay your guys if you want for them to take an action.
No, because I want to pay to upgrade them. So, but I'll do that after someone else goes.
Yeah. Just for my because it makes sense. What is our next target?
I think our
I
next
think-
target's setting up the raid, right?
I think we want to set up a pillage so that
A
we
pillage,
can
sorry.
upgrade finish our goal of growing our horde.
Okay, so what are we pillaging? Sorry, I want to lay some groundwork if we're gonna do a two-step.
Yep. We'll probably need to pillage another faction. I think we should just pick a target. I think
Hold on, what?
that
You
What-
do
what-
have
what rank are
handless
we?
Bill.
We do
tied
have
up.
handless Bill we can torture.
we do,
That's
but we also
true.
killed everyone in his
Oh.
village already.
We
No,
could.
he's not from the village. He was like one of the guild members from a high
Yeah.
level guild. Which
So-
faction is he? They have a clock
don't-
about you.
What if we either set up a pillage on the Cuckoos?
Bill's from Pineapple Graveyard, the tier
Oh,
3
that's
Right.
raiding guild.
I think let's raid the Hand of Progress. If we still generally want parts, because if our goal is to build a giant robot, we're gonna want parts. We've just raided the
You mean the Spirits of Industry?
Spirit of Industry. The Hand of Progress was my idea for the Crafters and Gatherers Guild, tier 2 faction. That was my idea for their name.
Oh, Crafters. Oh, got it. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured we could raid them. I'm pretty sure if we are all good with my placements of them in the sandbox, they're not that far from us. They're over. Their main town is over here.
That's true. Can we choose what project our imps do in the dungeon?
Nope.
No, we
No,
have
they
no
just do a
control
random
over it.
one?
So if there's a
They
bunch
do
of
what I
unfinished
want.
ones, they'll do one of the unfinished ones. I believe is what was established last time.
Yeah, that's the way we're gonna play it. If there's clocks to pick from, I will pick the clock I find the most interesting, and the imps will work on that. If there's no clocks, they'll build whatever they want.
Yep.
Mm. So
Okay.
I don't think they'd think of what we have now. I don't think they're gonna fuck with the carnivorous moss.
No, given an option, would you fuck with the carnivorous moss? Like if
No,
you're
I'd make the
work
bar.
and there's two jobs, like do anything else or move carnivorous moss. Which would you pick? I know
It
what I
means
would
the
pick.
carnivorous moss is farther away from them when they're done.
Yeah, but they still have to touch it to move it far away from them.
Just wear gloves and get some health insurance. Maybe
You're their
Write
boss.
your
Do
will.
they have health insurance?
no, get it privately.
Their health insurance is respawning in the toilets. That's what their health
Oh,
insurance
right.
is. So American health insurance.
All right. Well, are we good with raiding the Crafters and Gatherers Guild?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, sweet, because
Many
my
trade-
vile friend is from that guild.
Excellent.
So I will contact a vile friend.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the
yeah,
name of your vile friend?
Roos the Mad Metallurgist.
Bad metallurgist. Very into aluminium alloys this week.
So yeah, I want to go talk to him and get a sense of the best way to go about, pillaging and raiding their faction.
Yep, so the way pillaging works is that you're going to do one raid to set it up, and one raid to do the pillage. I'm trying to talk to a vile friend.
Basically, it's an action roll to see if they help or not.
Yeah,
Are you warning them or?
to get us hopefully an advantage.
Gain
on our
information,
next
ask for
engagement
help, or
roll.
make demands. The project tier depends on how much you ask for, so it's still a project.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do it quickly with a tier 1 project of just like what is the most vulnerable thing to go after, like that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Hypothetically, if there was a series of unlocked warehouses around the warehouse district in this town, what is the most likely to be unlocked? Hypothetically.
Which unlocked warehouse has the best stuff in
That's true.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a connoisseur of unlocked warehouses, I'm sure.
Yeah. So you're looking for a good target, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, he can give you a target for a tier 1 project.
Sweet. Given that he is Roos the Mad Metallurgist, and I am visiting him in his shop, I'm going to use Invoke to threaten him.
Oh, awesome. I thought you were going to do
Great.
something nice like ask, and he's your friend, but...
Nope, it's do it or we're not friends anymore, because you won't be able to be my friend, because you'll be goo.
Or I'll block
You'll
you.
Yeah, and he is...
Out of curiosity, is it PC or NPC?
The Hand of Progress?
No, it is this specific friend.
Oh, this...
Yeah.
I'm imagining NPC.
All right, so
Nice.
this, like... He's a lizard guy, and I do think more than one chunk of him is Robit. Or he has, like, a pauldron welded to his shoulder, and, like,
Sweet.
a metal eye, and a metal claw hand, and also a metal tail, because lizards lose their tails.
I like to
Sweet.
imagine it does grow back. He just chops it off and keeps the arms
Yeah.
on.
It's like a haircut.
Yeah.
He built the whole metal tail, might as well.
Yeah. I mean, he
Alright,
spent all
so
that time.
under threat of having all of his cybernetic pieces pulled off.
They're not cybernetic, they're more
Uh,
magic steam powered, but yeah, of
whatever.
course. Still painful.
I will submit a roll. Uh-oh, that's no good.
So he lets you know, under screaming pain, that the Porcelainier Patrol recently took heavy losses trying to fight, like, sand golems in the desert. So their warehouse, like, the porcelain workshop warehouse, will be less guarded than usual until they can get members trained back up again.
Which we know isn't the type of stuff we're after, so it isn't any progress on.
Yeah, you don't want fine china and magic teapots?
Well,
so I don't get good information.
we could sneak into that place and then bust out of there to get something we need and then leave. Like, maybe we sneak the tank into that warehouse.
You just used the phrase
Sneak
sneak
a
and
tank?
Yeah.
Do we just disassemble it, carry it, and reassemble it in the warehouse?
Exactly.
I like the audacity, but I don't think that that's gonna work so well.
I mean, it's supposed to be set up for the raid, so the entire raid would be then sneak tank.
Yeah, it'd be one whole raid.
The entire raid would be sneak the tank in, and then the second raid would be blow up, like just drive through the front wall of the warehouse with the tank and start.
I mean, there is a certain level of, that fits us. Like,
we don't have a tank, though. That was put into the vehicle
Oh.
bay.
Yeah, we disassembled the tank.
Yeah, something about being a lava mountain base means the tank isn't the best vehicle for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a flat land weapon.
Well, if we will have a dirigible at some point when we finish the trap, then we can approach by air, so that'll help. Very stealthily by air, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can we have a scene of clearing the damn vehicle bay? Like, can we just do that?
Oh,
Is
I
that
was
a
gonna
thing
have.
you can do?
I
It's
guess yeah.
underway.
I was checking if you were done your downtime action. I have more downtime actions that I can do since I have gold. Unless someone else wants to do it first.
I'm going to spend gold to make my dwarves expendable, so they tell their football friends about their cool bar they're going to have, and then I just never have to redo them.
Yeah. Literally, like, risk
the
of death is worth going to this bar and
It's
having a
worth
membership
going to
there.
this bar.
I do want to point out that don't they have another upgrade already?
They started with an upgrade.
Expendable
does-
is mutually exclusive with literally every other upgrade.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I got my golems are expendable, and that means I can't get any upgrade other than expendable.
Let
It says it under the text for expendable itself.
me see.
Also, you can't spend gold for an additional downtime action unless your minions are doing
Correct. That's what I was planning to do.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, so I
Oh,
can't
yeah,
make
you have
them
expendable
expendable.
minions, perfect for moving carnivorous moss.
That's actually true.
They have a 1 in
Uh,
Tinker. So I could just get them to Tinker. I could also I could find a way to give them level 2 and Smash and have them do it, but I think Tinker probably makes more sense.
It's fine. Just send them over my way. They can help me tinker.
I'm good. Do we want them to just do it, or do you want to finish your upgrade first? You're not rolling to upgrade them though.
No, I'm not gonna upgrade them. I'd spend gold to make their bar.
Okay.
So
I'm spending their morale so to upgrade their 1 dice to 2 dice for the purposes of this roll to have them continue try to help. Go golems. Perfect. 4 is what we needed. So I'm sure if you died and were replaced, it's fine.
No, you need 2 ticks, and the 4 is a 1 tick.
4 is 1 tick?
Yeah, it's a mixed success.
Oh, I got a 6 last time. Right, I
Mhm.
thought I got a 4 last time, and I knew I was halfway through. All right.
Oh, crap. I forgot.
Your minions?
No, when you perform, when you do a downtime action, you can re-roll it if you take away the dominant position and put it to normal. So if you risk yourself, you can re-roll your project or your.
I'm totally risking my minions. Is it myself or is it them?
I think it's probably yourself somehow.
It's every downtime action. I don't know where the blowback goes. That's up to the GM.
Yeah,
but
it would
you
become a free play roll, is what I interpret it as. If you want to re-roll it, it would actually have risk to it.
Do you want to?
If the risk is like my minions can get bloodied, because they can still get bloodied, and I don't recover it until next recovery.
Yeah, that's a fair risk for you, but I'm saying if Varn wants to come back the next day after being like, no, Porcelain's not going to work for me.
Yep. Find another target. I'll return tomorrow.
That's also viable. But, the obvious risk there is wanted posters from the Crafters Guild goes up for Varn the Chain Lasher.
Okay.
Like there's a price put on your head that
I have no problem with this. That's the if it fails.
Yeah,
it's not
okay.
Something like
we haven't been doing enough devil's bargains, but that's a separate thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just trying to suggest plausible reasons because, like, we're pretty sure you can kill your friend, so he's not a real risk to you. But a whole guild looking for you is a bigger risk.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if our plan is sneak in.
Just very sneaky.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
It's a 5.
So that's mixed success.
So both?
So yeah, it's both. Like, there is now a 1 out for Varn the Chain Lasher, but you do get a better target. What do you think the better target is?
I mean, we're setting up for a pillaging raid, so I feel like it's the supply wagon chain, like the wagon train.
So you find out the plans for a big, like, looting raid that the guild's pulling off, and you scope out their supply chain for the return trip. You are going to be their blowback.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So you get the return plans.
And that'll mean that the first step is setting up the pillage. We could go in and just like gut a town and that they have to pass through. So we control.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Good. I'm glad you're just setting up murder dominoes.
We're good at it.
We are. Yeah. That's our best raid so far was a murder raid.
I have used my gold to train my minion pack in torture. So they are good at torturing when we
Horrifying.
need them
Good.
to.
Sweet.
Good. Are they just like?
By the
What
way,
form of torture do they specialize in? Do they just constantly talk about their fantasy football team, like
Oh,
incessantly?
you know what? It depends on who they're torturing. Sometimes they beat up the person that they're torturing. Other times they fucking annoy the shit out of them.
All right.
you know what's been
Given their
happening to
name
our
theming, I feel like they just puke and are generally vile around the torturer
Yeah,
and make them
being
sick and
around
wretched.
them is torture.
What are you gonna say,
Do we,
Marissa?
do we know what's been happening to our handless wizard friend who we left just randomly in our dungeon as we?
Oh, the imps
Cripple.
took care of him.
He's still
Cripple.
there.
Yeah. He's still tied up.
Okay. He
We
wasn't
need a
tied up.
prison.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
like,
tied up
we
in
got
chains.
completely insecure.
I think we secured him, I believe.
I mean, his hands were neutralized, as was his ability to incant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can't climb out of
Still
here.
is kind of trapped.
There is no
at
way
the
to climb
moment.
out of this place without physically
Fair.
climbing with your hands.
And we
So
probably stuffed him in the beard oil room, so he has to get past the lava snakes in order to leave.
that sounds right.
I'd imagine
Okay.
we kept him down here where there's a lock on the stairs
He has
going
a
up.
token. He has
So
a
every
token.
so often, my kobold
Where's his
minions
token?
are wandering into
Oh,
their
yeah,
beard oil room because we know that that's a very important part of them. They speak the light tongue, so every so often they like chat at him
Yeah.
for a while.
Hey,
Without his ability
how
to
you doing?
respond.
Oh no, they're dark dwarfs. They're dark dwarfs.
No, no,
They're
no,
just
you're-
forsaken
No,
all light.
Marissa's
Like-
kobolds that can speak the light
kobolds,
tongue
sorry, yes.
are like,
just going into
yeah.
Balderham.
Well, they're going in to get their beard oil supply. It's what
that
they're
they're addicted to.
They're addicted to the
So
cloth
basically, if
hairdos.
whoever wants to get out of that room, that's going to be pretty easy.
Yep,
But
perfect. Well, I can do another downtime if no one else is, since I have the thing that lets me do extra downtimes.
Oh nope,
Go
there's
for it.
I
you
don't
find
know.
something.
Oh, okay.
Don't you do you do a discovery?
You roll it. Yeah, discoveries is now is the time to introduce a discovery.
Yeah.
$34.
Watch it be more moss.
I'm trying to figure out the success or not.
Let me check.
Well, discoveries
You
are
roll 2 dice to see how beneficial or harmful. That was a 4, so that would presumably be a mixed.
How about take the first dice as whether or not it's successful or harmful, because it doesn't really make sense to do best of 2 on that.
It actually does in the discoveries page. It says your GM makes a fortune roll, usually 2 dice, to see how beneficial or harmful it is for your dungeon.
Yeah, and one of the rooms we get adds another die.
Oh,
Oh,
right. We
so
have
should we
so we have
add
an
that?
extra die. So should we roll again? An extra d6.
No, not for this. If we build, I think
The
it's
mine.
a mine shaft or something,
Ah.
it can give us an extra die on discovery. But there is
Oh.
also the +1d that you can use on your crafting roll or whatever you're about to do with your last downtime action.
Perfect.
Yeah. So the carnivorous moss went unfed for way too long, and oh, that's purple. I don't want purple.
We were busy moving it, not, feeding it.
Yeah. So now they've chewed through the wall at the back of your vehicle bay.
Not bad.
Okay.
Trying to decide exactly what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. We're just gonna pull it because I like it. It's a cavern full of stalactites that drip glowing ooze that puddles below them. So
Excellent.
dripping ooze cavern.
Okay. Well, we already know someone has a fascination with glowing ooze.
I'll collect all the glowing ooze.
Yeah. We've discovered your secret, like, brewery of some kind.
That's so small.
Well, if the purple stuff slathers on stone and turns it to bunnies, I'm really wondering what this does.
Yep.
Sorry, what I
Collecting
missed.
ooze, sticking it on the
We've
golem.
discovered the carnivorous moss chewed through the rocks, revealing a cavern behind it, full of stalactites that drip into puddles of glowing ooze below on the floor.
Oh, is it
Was
the
it
same
golden
ooze?
ooze?
Now,
I
the
think
most
it doesn't say the color.
What color is it? Is the most important question.
That's a very good point.
Roll like a d12 on the color wheel.
Uh, it's pale yellow.
Hmm.
Drips with
Gross.
sunlight. The worst color.
Cavern of ooze.
Excellent.
Oh, I can never figure out how to make text bigger.
You have to like
You
do it
just
before
change
you
the-
type it.
You can just select it and then change the number
Yeah.
at the top.
Yeah.
Like the 20 that's there is the font size, so...
Yeah, but selecting the number deselects the
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't for me.
text.
Okay,
No, it
well,
doesn't
Oh,
for
you
me
can make
either.
it bigger. Anyway, cavern of that's horribly hard to read. I hate this.
there we go. I've made it thicker. Different
All
font.
right, cool. Cavern of ooze. It's weird and yellow.
Perfect.
You discovered it. Is it helpful?
It's-
Not particularly.
I have a theory that it's cheese. It's dripping cheese.
Dripping cheese.
We'll turn
Sure.
it into something eventually.
Hold on.
I mean, we could turn it into a creature lair, and it could be sentient.
Sentient cheese.
There we go. I'm writing down my idea. We don't know what it is.
It would also have to be a tier 3 creature because it's after a tier 3 realm. So
Well, it doesn't have to be. It's just that the morale
No.
will be better if it is.
Titanic cheese ooze.
Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio plays our ooze.
Yeah. So you got one more downtime action?
Yes, for my creative frenzy, I've been ignoring the first half of my entire ability, which is if I get a success, so like a 6, while working on a crafting downtime project, the downtime action isn't consumed.
Ooh.
And you also get
So
a
the trap
downtime
was
action.
free.
No, that was a build, which is different
Oh,
than
you're right.
craft. Craft is like concoctions or contraptions or stuff.
Okay.
You also get a downtime action, which you can only use to craft. So that's what the second half of the part I've always been doing, the extra downtime action. But also, if I roll a 6 with any of my downtime actions for crafting, I get it back.
conveniently, I actually didn't miss that and have been noticing you haven't rolled a 6 yet.
Oh. Good to know. Let's see if I do now. Oh, I was gonna
Does-
do a flamethrower.
So does that mean if you roll a 6 on this roll, you could just
I
roll
just
again?
yeah, it's called Creative Frenzy. I basically keep getting my
Oh.
downtime action back until I don't roll a 6.
But only for crafting.
Only
for
for crafting, correct.
So you could tear through a tier 3 project.
If I roll exceptionally
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Oh. So, does anyone else have downtime projects or are they planning to spend gold on downtime projects at all?
Nope.
Okay,
I
so we're
have no
not
gold.
planning to finish
No money.
the vehicle bay at all. Okay. The reason why is because if we had a dirigible, I was probably going to build a parachute. But we don't. No need right now. I think then I'm going to make a distraction. I'm going to build a concoction. There is a concoction called Kaboom, I believe, and it can blow up a building, and I can make 2 of any concoction with my roll. But as a tier 3 concoction, I believe I take -2 dice to roll it.
Okay.
But as long as I get a 4 or higher, I do it. Let me double check a few things before I confirm it.
You mean you add to the clock?
No, concoctions do not have clocks. They are always 1 roll to make, no matter the tier. But If I roll poorly, it becomes a mixed success. It becomes volatile, which means the downside that is written down on it matters. It actually exists. If I roll
Okay.
a pure 6, it isn't volatile. It works perfectly.
Cool. And you're at -2 dice.
I'm considering it. I'm considering it.
To make a bigger bomb.
I think if we want to raid a place, having this would be very useful. And I wanted explosives already. So yes, I'm going to do it. I only have 1 die. I have no dark hearts with which to help. I am
Plus
willing to
1
hear
from
a
the
dark bargain if we can think of a feasible one. +1 from
plus
what?
1 die from the forge.
I already used it when making my trap.
Oh.
I don't have a good bargain for you. Like, you're doing the evil thing. You're making a giant bomb.
Destroy a room in.
This is a pretty big deal, even though it is a single downtime action. I am willing to bloody my minions to use them as literal test subjects for the bomb.
Didn't we already bloody your minions?
That was something that was a
Oh,
possibility.
it was on the table.
It was on the
Okay.
table, but I never ended up re-rolling that. Which that was just because I forgot to re-roll it. Actually, let me try to re-roll that first, if that's okay. It was a bit ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
So I'll
Yeah,
roll
you-
my minion thing, because if we finish that, then that changes everything I'm doing, because that means we have our vehicle bay. If that re-roll becomes a 6. Yeah, Tinker. Oh, okay. I'm re-rolling anyways, but that should have been 2 dice, not 3. I put in a bonus 2 dice because it's still confusing. I still would have re-rolled, so this is correct. No change.
No change.
But
Okay.
the risky position comes to effect.
So they are bloodied.
Yeah, they're bloodied.
Okay. I am willing. Oh, I know. Don't have any shock. I'm willing to take like a shock myself if we feel that's enough for a downtime action bonus.
A shock for
I would-
an extra die?
A shock for an extra die. If
I would
There's a-
think
that feels appropriate.
this might be too big, but like maybe you can't make any more explosive stuff until you like grab explosive stuff.
That might be too big.
Okay.
There's quite a few different explosive things.
I'll take
that are-
shock for volatile experimentation.
Okay. I will.
Go.
I think I'll take it to brains. No, yeah, I'll take it to brains. It is literally rattled and I can't hear properly, and I just start yelling because I have ringing in my ears constantly from the explosions. That brings me to 2 dice. So how do I do a -1? Can I do a -1? Yes, I can.
Yes, you can.
Perfect. 4. That means I do it. I have 2 kabooms. It always defaults to crafting 2 copies of a concoction. That's just for everyone. That's not a crafter thing. But the downside kicks in. So
What is the downside?
the explosion is randomly delayed. Is the downside.
Does it give you like a time range or?
It's random.
10 minutes, 10 years, now!
Yeah, pull the pin, it explodes.
It's just randomly delayed, so it wouldn't be undelayed, but it might be.
I mean,
It's gonna
8
take an
seconds
unknown
delay.
amount of time longer than I want it to go off.
Longer or shorter?
That's fair.
Whatever is dramatic in the moment.
Yeah. So, I've crafted 2 bombs. So create an explosion large enough to destroy a house, but the explosion is randomly delayed. So, like, these are not small bombs.
Nice.
Alright.
Right.
I used my gold. Yeah.
So what is the next step?
Next step is calamity.
And the imps. We have to figure out what the imps do.
Oh yeah, the imps.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
the
just gonna do the imps
the
now,
red clock
actually.
is 1 away, so
I
But
agree.
the imps don't want to do that. They would rather build the bar so they could puke too.
That makes sense.
They
Yeah, I've
want the
also added.
sports bar too, okay?
I've added what the room will be is smelly and noisy.
Earl
Perfect.
2, they do very little, actually.
Is it just one, right?
They get
Yep.
1 die and 3 or less.
Oh wait, don't the minions get an extra die too?
Hmm?
To their
Yeah,
downtime?
but this is imps, and
I don't think the imps would.
Okay.
The imps roll their die, they do very little.
No.
All
yeah.
right, so just add one.
No, they
No,
rolled 2. They
That's
did
regular
nothing.
blades. You add 1. In this, you add 0. If you roll
Okay,
a 3
so
or
they did
less.
literally nothing. Got it.
They helped.
They decided on the decorating scheme.
I was gonna say they started polishing mugs that are already polished and tried to do the NPC barkeeper thing and just like kept getting in the way, basically.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of holes in the bottom of your mugs now. Excessive polishing.
You'll go blind.
Yeah. And then we figure out our dungeon logic.
Yes.
Does it feel like people enjoy living there? I think so now. Yes. Because you've added some more minion space.
Yeah, we're removing the
Yeah.
carnivorous moss from the living space that we live in, at least.
Yeah.
We're working on a bar.
Mm-hmm. There's been
It's
steady
not-
growth. Hierarchy's iffy, so I'm not giving you that one. But you did just get a tank. You just like rolled up with like weird rabbits in a tank. So I think you get
Definitely pretty-
3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, it's about as happy. You haven't had anything bad happen. Because you keep
Sounds
rolling very well.
Hmm.
Yep. I'm just waiting for our house of cards to come
Yes.
tumbling down.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
when I
it'll
start
happen.
sending more waves of adventurers into the dungeon.
Yeah.
So roll 3d6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Is this
I
the
will-
calamity roll?
Yes.
Yes.
6.
Oh, we got 6.
So on a 6.
Your minions gain morale and join the next raid for free.
Oh,
Wow.
that's really good.
Oh. Yeah, that is really
Nice.
good.
Is that
Alright,
all of our
well,
minions?
It says minions, so yeah, I
Yep.
would assume it's all of our minions.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Sweet. We have people who speak the light tongue coming with
That
us.
makes sense.
Also, weather witches
Yup.
Yep. And robots.
and
And robots.
expandable or
I have a feeling
expendable
we
robots
might be
and-
getting some attention. My robots are bloodied, but that's fine. They're expendable. They can
That
die.
doesn't matter,
They
yeah.
can die and come back.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Okay, what is the next step?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the next step is XP. And
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
at the
I
start
would
of next time, we will start planning our big
Would it
old
be
raid.
helpful for us to pick the raid in between or now, just so that you have
We
some
want to
time
discuss it? Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 parts. I figured there'd be a little bit of planning for the setup.
I figured
Yeah.
if all our minions are willing to come with us, we might just do like a full-on assault, basically, to run it as a distraction.
But that doesn't actually. Well, we could.
Yeah, if we do an assault to take an area in which to
Oh
To
yeah.
then ambush.
Hmm. Well, here's the thing: do we come back to our lair after the first raid, or do we go right into the next one?
I'll double
I
check.
believe you go right into the next one.
If you go right into that next one, that works perfectly.
Then
Pillaging.
yeah, I think that's all might be it.
You don't go back to the dungeon, but you do make a loot roll. So you skip downtime and
Okay.
roll straight into raid 2.
Okay,
And you
so
don't recover, correct? Or you do?
There is specifically no time for recovery or returning to the dungeon.
Okay, just so we're aware of that. So blow your minions on the first bit, so you don't get screwed up for the second
Yeah.
bit.
Whereas loot tends to be a background in normal raids, it's the primary objective in this one, and getting enough should prove quite challenging. You must deal a major blow to the faction you're targeting, dropping them a tier.
Because this is making
So
us go up a tier.
Yeah, so we might just be like, if there's a warehouse district or some kind of like the crafting storage facility
So the
here,
first
we're
tier is
just
where,
From
taking it
city.
all.
So
in.
the
The second one is where we have to drop them a tier.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From my
And-
understanding, from the information you were given, there's a supply wagon making its way back from a big
Mhm.
raid that the Pineapple Graveyard did. In the
Er,
current plan,
Were we
oh,
targeting
the
them?
Crafters Guild.
Okay.
Sorry, the
No,
Crafters
Yeah.
Guild.
Crafters Guild.
The Crafters Guild, that's different.
Yeah, and the plan is to raid one, destroy a town. With
Just a
all
town
the
along the
paths-
way.
A town along the way, to then set up an ambush to take out the caravan.
Yes, because our setup doesn't necessarily need to be against the same faction.
Okay. So we're gonna just like we did with our first raid that went swimmingly well. We just basically take over a random town, and then when the adventurers are passing through it to get back to their main target, we attack them from it.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
here's
setup
the-
does
Here's the hitch with the setup, though. The town has to still be intact at the end of it, so it doesn't
Yeah.
alert them to
Yeah,
problems.
you can't destroy this one.
yeah.
We
So,
even set a
technic-
clock for how much destroyed it is.
We'll
is
probably
it.
set up a clock for how much destroyed it is.
Yeah, there's
and
gonna
then
be a town
it'll-
Yeah,
life
how
clock.
noticeable the assault is
Yeah.
to the next person that comes
Like,
in.
Yeah.
you keep a couple of them alive and, spokespersons, that would probably be helpful.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So yeah,
We'll
we could
literally have
technically
3 kobolds
raid.
in a trench coat and say, "Hello, adventurer. Would you like to stay at our inn and try our definitely not poisoned soup?"
So we could do a setup on like a tier 0, and then the pillage is on the tier 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
XP.
XP. You made progress on your master plan.
Yes.
Yes.
1 tick. That's a level up. You jumped into someone else's dungeon scene.
Thank
We
you.
I
didn't
don't
actually
think
have
so.
many dungeon scenes at all this time.
Most of the
Yeah.
scenes were in the other dungeon.
Yeah.
Like in the one you were raiding.
You acted like a monster. I'm gonna take one.
I'll take one
Trying
too.
to-
I think I'll take one. Should I? I don't know. I was getting booze.
I don't know if I would count that as a monster.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that.
It's questionable.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It didn't really cause many problems for anyone else.
That's true. Can I get one for use your gear supply in creative ways by calling a horn to have the scorpion bunnies attack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Creative, sure. Effective,
I'm-
yes. It was a way to impact the plan. So yeah, no, you get a point for that.
It was impacted the plan positively, though, and the intent.
It just
of the
says
horn-
use gear supply in creative ways.
Oh, right, but you were trying to use your drinking horn. So I'm just thinking that calling a horn is the purpose of a horn. A horn
No,
is
it's
to
a
be-
different type of horn.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you turning my fire oil into an actual explosive counts as creative enough. I mean, I did have to spend stress to do it.
I mean, but you're already getting 2 points. I don't know if it's a full point. I would take another item on top of that.
Does putting on my farmer's hat while we're in a farm count as using it creatively? It kept sunlight off of me.
The farmer's might actually come in handy at this next raid.
It
It's
might,
true, it
actually.
might.
It changes your tag from monster to farmer.
Yeah, it just like puts the friendly tag on me. Like
No,
Yeah.
it depends how they feel about farmers.
that's
But
I mean, you still can't talk to them.
no, you can't talk to them or farm. But
yep.
I don't think I did anything creative. Shooting for the barrels to come down still doesn't feel.
Yeah.
The bow and arrow was used as a bow and arrow.
And as a reminder for those that were bloodied or going feral, if you played into that, you get 1 XP on your reckless XP track as well.
Mhm.
Which I am willing to take because I was trying very hard.
yes, you were
definitely
very
did.
much trying to kill your teammates for petty
I
vengeance.
only cared about booze.
Fair.
Fair as well.
Does a cuckoo blender count?
Cuckoo.
I would say so.
Yeah.
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 I didn't go feral and I wasn't bloodied, so
I think there's in another universe a vampire barista who's cashing in on some souls.
Yeah.
All right. Then I'm gonna go consider what new ability I got.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm really tempted with Grand Sorcery just so I can, summon demons or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure they won't abduct your character like the last one.
Yeah, never trust demons. At least never bet
Never
with
gamble your
demons.
soul with demons.
I know what I'm taking.
Ooh, actually, I know what I'm taking too.
I've taken Brewmaster. When you make a concoction, you always make an extra dose, even on a failure. And you gain a downtime action, which you can only use to brew concoctions.
There is an alchemy lab you can build
I
to
know.
have the imps auto build concoctions.
There's lots of things that I'm like, ooh, this can like play off of this and play off of this. The crafter for some reason has a lot of symmetry with the forge.
Shocking.
Shocking, yes. Yeah.
Cool. That's everyone's downtime. We have a rough outline of the pillage plan.
Yeah, we'll go into more stakes next time.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for playing Wicked Ones online.
Yep. We will be back next week. I don't
Mhm.
think that anything will come up. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we will see you then. Thank you for watching.